GG! The Mouthful Podcast is brought to you by GoodGame.rock, the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Visit us at www.goodgame.rocks.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, party.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that is, of course, Mr. David, aka Dream Twister. And this is the real episode 277 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
I wanted to make sure that we didn't fuck this up. So 277. If it's not, like, who's counting at this point?
I mean, yeah, at some point, you got to have some sort of number, some sort of indicator. So unless you're going to start just naming the title, the episode's just the title.
Just the title. This is we probably should. But yeah, no, because then that's gonna get messy for putting them in alphabetical order. And of course, when we do the archive for our 1,000th episode, we need to have them. Like I have all the part. Actually, that's not true. I lost the first 20. I want to say. I think in my archives I started at episode 21, except that I have episode 1 because that one fits on an email because it was like 5 megabytes.
Damn, that says
it was really short.
Yeah, well, that's true. Also, explains quality back then.
Yeah, exactly. Turns out the phones recording on the phones not too great.
Not the best audio quality, unfortunately.
By the way, am I coming in too loud? I'm trying to fix this thing. For some reason, I can't get my balance. You don't levelate it? I'm hitting red all the time.
Well, I mean, let's be real. You live in the red. But what I'm trying to say is, you don't use the levelator anymore?
No, I just throw it in because we have good mics now. So we have decent mics now. So I trust the
mic. And here's the sad part: is like we have really, really good mics, and we're still limited by the internet.
We're shitty editors, and also we're using freaking Zencaster, which is it's also not gonna modulate us very well. Like we're never gonna sound like Sparrow. Or if that's what you're expecting, go listen to Nivel Escondido and leave us alone.
Yeah, yeah, he does sound pretty magnificent.
Over here is about the quantity. Over there, you get the quality.
Very true. It's all about 3 hours of who knows what.
It's just our excuse to hang out and chew the fat. Yeah, exactly.
And we basically just drag you guys with us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're 10 minutes in and we haven't even started the fucking show. So that shit's
right. You're right. But no, I wanted to say I'm actually excited for this weekend. Real quick before I start, sir, I have two drafts. One that is happening as we speak, and another one, which is the major leagues, is happening mañana.
Oh boy, he's talking about fantasy football again, guys. We can skip this to 30 minutes ahead.
Wonderful time of the year.
Oh, for those who don't know, I don't hate football. I just don't watch football and definitely don't have the excitement that he gets as if this was some sort of E3 or something. And I feel like whenever the football season starts, I feel my loneliest because suddenly he gets along with all his football friends and they're like, oh, the fantasy footballs. And I try to be part of that universe and I didn't fit in. I did not fit.
Right what a liar.
I was welcome. Don't get me wrong. It was a nice group. It was nice. It was a nice, everybody was very welcoming. I'll give you that. I mean, I got lied to. I got tricked into doing a very bad trade that cost me my game, and I didn't know any better. But I'm not bitter about that because it was still fun. It was still good, My problem is that, like, I don't know, these players. Like, I don't know if players by name or teams. I don't know if I want to like vote for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from the Washington Denver Nuggets. Like, who cares? Like, if he plays
Washington Denver Nuggets, I love it.
It's like, who cares? Like, I don't know. I only like the Super Bowl, and it's because it's excited to be with like everybody, and those games are fun. But watching regular seasons, like, who cares? For me, Michael, the host here is very excited about football. Football. Now, I like baseball, and that's problematic because a lot of people don't. No, but I don't follow it like that either. I will watch a Mets or Yankees game, because that's what I know. That's what my the teams that my dad follow for the most part, and he knows he is a huge baseball fan. He'll be watching sometimes in excess of 3 games at the same time.
Oh wow!
Believe it or not, like happening at the same time. In like iPads and the computer and the TV. It's something to behold. But I can watch a game of baseball, but for some reason I can't stay for a whole game of football unless it's a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I don't know what that is about.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I've it's an interesting love that I fell into with this, and it's amazing how my wife kind of joins along. I think that a large part of it has to do with money that's riding on. Yes. Because if there wasn't that, I'm not entirely sure she would be all in. But
mind you, we're not advocating for sport betting. All right.
Amongst friends,
podcast is not it's not endorsed or sponsored by DraftKings or any of that sort.
Same here. Yeah, like no. But no, I definitely enjoy it, and it's just I enjoyed it before we started, but this added a whole new level, because the reality is I love football so much. We used to watch any game that was on, you know what I mean? Even though I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I'm like, well, they aren't always on TV, even though the fucking owners, got money everywhere, and he'll do anything he can to get his fucking team on TV, but they're not always, or I'm not always available to watch it. So I'll just throw one on. It's just enjoyable. And this adds a whole new level, because now teams that I can care less about, suddenly I need to watch, because, well, guy got my running back. I want to see what he does. You know what I mean? I'll see how we do this week. And it's just a lot of fun. And
real quick breakdown. I feel like you should break down real quick. How does fantasy football work for those who don't know?
I need a whole separate podcast for that.
If you can super mega summarize it,
so yeah, in the shortest of layman's terms, basically, you and a group of people will get together and you will perform your own draft, which is essentially picking players from the existing players in regular NFL football. And then you create your own team out of those players. And as they perform throughout the games, they score points for you on your team. And then you'll have up to anywhere between 10 to 16 people playing in a league. And each of you every week is playing another team. So this week I may play you, next week I'll play somebody else, and throughout the whatever. And obviously, same as any a sporting event, not event, but any sport in general.
Right.
How well you do ends up going into the playoffs towards the end of the year, and essentially for us, it's about the money, essentially. And there is a belt, actually. Believe it or not.
Yes,
Brett.
There used to be a trophy, actually.
No, there wasn't a trophy. Oh, that wasn't my league. I know what you're talking about. That wasn't my league.
Yeah.
There is a belt, and on the belt, it's Brett, one of the guys. He got the belt, and then he got one, and then it's just passed along to the winner every year. And what's the other thing? Oh, a football. He has a football that also gets passed along, and it gets signed by the winner every year. Yeah.
So there. In this case, when he says my league, it's because he refers to 2 leagues that he runs, or at least. Well, maybe you run one in particular, right? Well, you're the commissioner of one.
I'm a commissioner of just one, yeah.
Oh, just one of the Martin Cup.
We just call it the league after the show. Right. The league, yeah.
Okay, let's call it the league.
Yeah, but so I have that one, and then I'm part of another one that's a free league. I mean, no one's putting any money in. It's just bragging rights for work.
I was full funsies.
Yeah, exactly, for funsies, and you just kind of check up your. I literally focus on my the money one, and then when I get to the other one that's like, oh, and I'll hit the optimize button, just optimize it to whatever.
Just pick whatever, whoever, whichever. Yeah.
Just because you always hit the optimize, it'll take off anybody who's out or questionable. Well, not questionable, anybody who's out. And anyway, it's just
injured.
Well, hopefully, it's a lot of fun. I really can't deny that I've enjoyed it so much. My life it's unreal, and I think everybody should give it a shot at some point. If you're into sports, they are fantasy baseball, fantasy basketball.
It's fantasy, everything. Pretty much every sport has its fantasy. There's fantasy NASCAR, and I used to know people that were very into it. But back in the day, the concept of like fantasy sport was so abstract that's why I asked you, hey, can you explain real quick in lane terms, how does it work? And you did a pretty good job there. I participated. I had a blast. The only thing is me not knowing anything about football. I had a really hard time, obviously, making my choices. And I gotta thank the commissioner here that he actually helped me make my choices, even when I was going against him. And I don't remember if I won or anything like that, but it doesn't matter. If I won, you won because you made the choices for me.
No, if I remember correctly, I think you did, because I just didn't have a good team, and so it is what it is. I was like, well,
yeah. It's part of it is like the knowledge of knowing who to pick to play, which I didn't have. I didn't have that. And I would get kind of stressed out when it was like I had to have my players ready by a certain time. I think it was like 1 p.m. or something like that, if I remember correctly. And I'll be in the middle of something. I'll need to get out of, honey, hold on. I need to do this real quick. Let me set up my players.
It's like that. Let me tell you, everything drops when it comes to that. Everything just like, it's like, wait, I need to check. Hold on, I need to check. You because I have my phone set up to pick up any what do you call it? Like alerts, essentially, to say, hey, this person's been injured or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, son of a bitch, So I'm like, no, I gotta go out there and get and correct that. And then was the other mostly alerts, just alerts for who's out, who's whatever, and it would just like let me know, and I'm like, oh shit, hold on. In the middle, whatever I'm doing, I mean, in the middle of freaking like Walmart, just hold on, honey, hold on. We need to address this. And I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's how that's how it goes.
It's fun that way. It's fun that way. Everybody should try once, even if you don't know two shits about football, like in my case. And I went on the big league. I just automatically just went all in. It's like, here's my entrance fee, because there is an entry fee, because obviously that's where the money pools for the winners. And I hope none of this is illegal and we're just getting ourselves in trouble.
No, how is this illegal?
I don't know about that. We live in Florida. We have weird laws.
No. It's not. I'm pretty sure nothing's illegal as far as this. I mean, the fact that there's like commercials with DraftKings and all that bullshit. It's like if that's out there, yeah, it's. There
were some states that couldn't participate because of that.
Well, yeah, there's some states that have that issue, but yeah, believe me, Florida's not that state.
No. Yeah. A Florida man.
Yeah, exactly.
Bet $3 million. Okay, cool.
And lost it all. Yeah, hey, it's just another day in Florida. Well, anyway, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. If this is your first time listening to the show, first off, thank you. For joining. Please go to goodgame.rocks. That actually takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do, guys, first we go into what we have been up to, move on into various news items.
That checks out.
Pretty big one. And then, of course, we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic. Gaming Lingo Part 2, guys. Updating Gaming Lingo.
That's right.
We hit it last week, and we realized that the lingo is actually. I mean, it's all kinds of. It might as well be Klingon. That's how in depth gaming.
There is a lot. It turns out that the linguistic, the gaming linguistic, it's a vast universe, and we've only scratched the surface. And of course, we're not going to be making this into like a multi-part or anything like that. But I felt like at the end of the episode, like there were a couple of obvious ones that we didn't want to forget. I was like, okay, we probably should cover this again because somebody needs to win the game lingo bingo, right?
The game lingo bingo. Love it, sir. Yeah. At this point, somebody has a card out there that they're circling as they hear it and go, wait a minute, no. Oh snap! Bingo!
Bing!
Yeah, so
there you go. That's a GG, which is part of the lingo.
It is, which we did say
the middle one, the freebie one that they give you.
Oh, the circle right in the middle.
Yeah, the middle one.
The free space, yeah. GG's not going anywhere. I mean, that's basically international. Even though you don't say good game, like obviously there's the characters. If you think of Japan, but even Japan, they will type GG because it just makes perfect sense. Yeah. They know exactly what it means.
Oh yeah.
So it is international as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But
our language is universal.
Yeah, it is for sure. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start, sir, with what we have been up to. I'm gonna throw it over to you. What, sir, have you been doing?
Okay, what have I been doing? Mostly playing. And what have I been playing? Well, let's start with this one that I finished recently. So, you guys know I was playing Axiom Verge 2.
Oh shit!
And I finished that. It wasn't like a massively long game or anything like that. Actually, I believe it clocked around 12 to 15 hours, depending on how much you explore. Like I certainly didn't 100% it or anything like that. But having finished it, I feel like it's time to give it the threefer. The good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what we're calling the threefer.
The threefer. Okay.
The threefer. That's a word.
We'll make it one, that's for sure.
Yeah, there you go. Let's talk about Axiom Verge 2 and the things that I like. So I'm gonna start with the very obvious one. The music on this game is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, it is very good. It's memorable. Maybe not to the extent of the first one. Like I feel like the Axiom Verge, it was. I don't know. It felt like it was a better composition, but this one definitely holds its own. It's not to take anything away, from this one. This one I like. I believe I told you last week that it has a lot of it sounds like Indian instruments.
Oh yes, you did say that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it kind of makes the some of the vocals, and like it sounds really 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 neat. You could see that they were definitely inspired.
Okay.
The composition, or he was definitely inspired because this the one guy, I forgot his name suddenly. So
Tom Happ.
Tom Happ, yes, yeah. Yes. Amazing job there. The game has this particular mechanic that I enjoyed quite a bit, which was you'll be on your Metroidvania world, because it's side scrolling, and sometimes you're able to find these portals where it will take you into like another dimension. Mm-hmm. And this other dimension is like another Metroidvania-ish minimap, maybe not as complex as the main world, but it is another place where you kind of interact. And if I can say this, things look even more pixelated in that world. The whole game is pixel art, but this time it takes it a little bit further, more with bigger, chunkier pixels. And but I couldn't interpret if you are meant to be like inside a computer. Well, maybe not inside a computer. Probably another dimension, basically. And so you travel in and out of these dimensions. Although I wish they would have expanded that a little bit more.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, but it's mostly for traversal. Like, let's say you hit a dead end, right? But you find a portal. Suddenly you go into this portal and you're navigating to the second map. Depending on when you exit out on that second map, it might return you to another part that you haven't visited on the main world. So it's kind of cool for that traversal element, but I wish that they would have played a little bit more with the idea of maybe things that you do on the secondary universe could affect the primary. Although that I feel like that might have been a little bit out of the scope of this game, because believe it or not, the game is kind of it's simple. It doesn't have a lot of complexities to it. It has a hacking a hacking element, but it is very, very basic. Okay. It's just, hey, nothing are you powerful enough?
Nothing like what's that other game? Nier Automata?
Oh, right. No. I would have thought that it was gonna do that. Where, in Nier Automata, you're hacking and suddenly it turns into like a mini game that you have to do. It's mostly like a shooter, basically, like a shmup at that point. But no, unfortunately, on this one, it's just, hey, to hack this, you need 100 nanites, or if you want the robot to attack slower, it's 50 nanites. But if you want it to become your ally, it's 100 nanites. It's kind of like basic stuff like that, and they're not even that interesting, to be honest with you. I was kind of disappointed with that. I'm still talking about the good things, mind you. Actually, it sounds more. Yeah, on paper, it sounds like, wow. You can hack the enemy. That sounds really cool, because Axiom Verge. You're thinking like, oh, with the cool glitchiness effect and stuff like that. It's still a fun game. I will say that it's still something that if you like the first one, I would recommend checking out. Even though it doesn't hold a fucking candle to the first one, because the first one was really, really good.
The first one really was although obviously it was inspired by the obvious Super Metroid. It was definitely. I don't want to. Well, I haven't played it when you're talking about, but just from what I can see, because I've seen gameplay, and even in gameplay, I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I. That's why I haven't even bought it. I was like, well, I don't don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't look. You'll play it because you're not gonna skip on it. But
no,
you're not
gonna, I'll eventually come around to it. But it's just
maybe on a sale or something.
The first one had a very, very direct approach they were going with, and here I guess maybe it is, for all we know, but it definitely maybe expectations is what's affecting it. But,
I would say it wanted to be its own thing for and I think I think for the most part it did fine on being its own thing, rather than try to be like, oh, let's be another Super Metroid, or let's try to be another game. It's like, no, the game was definitely shooting for let's have our own identity. It's just like, and this is actually a good segue to go into like the bad, although I wouldn't say it's so bad. Like, the game is still a fine game, like I said, but dealing with enemies is mostly melee based, and the attacking feels a little clunky, because it feels like you always get cheap shotted for no reason. Like, you'll be attacking a small enemy, and it's just the fact that they move so quick, or they attack all of a sudden, that it's you easy gets easily get constantly hit. Even though the death in this game is completely trivial. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't lose any. You lose absolutely nothing other than, well, now you're taken back to your last save point and you revive on your last save point and then you continue.
But isn't that what happened in the first one? I mean, I don't remember the first one having.
I don't remember if
I
it
feel
did.
like it was just.
It felt like it had a little bit more weight on it, maybe because the traversal was a little bit more complex. I don't know. You might be right. It might have not been. It might have just been that, and it just felt like on this one, some boss battles felt like they had no stakes, because even in the boss, if I was in the middle of a boss battle, either I had a revival chamber, I'm gonna call it revival chamber, right next, on the previous screen, or I literally had it on the very same screen when I was battling. So it was almost like playing with invincibility, because you'll die and you'll just continue fighting right there and then. So none of it presented like too much of a challenge. So that's why I was saying it's like the combat on the game was not like spectacular. I don't think there's any weapons that you actually shoot. It's mostly, I mean, you can charge some of them and they could maybe shoot like a beam or something, but it's not, you can't rely on them to constantly shoot like you would on a Super Metroid, for example.
Yeah.
It's not that. So that sucks. I don't like that. The characters, I could tell that it's interesting the way they were, what the backgrounds they seem to be are interesting. Like, you kind of have to wait a little bit on the title screen to get the story, like all games we used to do, where you will spend a little time on the title screen and then it'll scroll in the lore, they try to explain. So I didn't realize that until like I had already put like 6 hours, and at one point I just wanted to listen to the music of the title screen, because the music of the title screen is so rad. It's so good. It's so good. And suddenly I saw a story. It's like, oh, wait a minute. So I'm supposed to be like this female CEO of this company somehow, and it goes into an explanation of how I took over or merged with this other company, and like it set up an interesting lore, but it does not follow through with it. And here's the second thing that I was going to say is that the characters, they have an interesting design, but they end up feeling uninteresting because there's no clear indication of what's happening. So that means that you don't know of this world or its inhabitants enough to care. Like, they will introduce characters that they will just be there to give you a couple of lines, and then you don't never visit them again, because if you revisit them, they're just gonna spew out the same lines. It's like, well, what's the point? There's no development on any of these characters, like nothing that's happening. And obviously I won't go into any spoilers or anything like that, but there were parts in the middle of the game where I was finding out stuff that I'm like, well, this would have made more sense if I would have known about it in the beginning, because suddenly I'm finding myself, or my character, it's caring about something, or it does something as basic as establishing her age, where, because in the pixels you can't really tell, what who you're playing. So I don't know. It's just, I feel like, again, Action Verge 1 was trying to mimic Super Metroid, and because of that, it kind of had in trying to be a Super Metroid clone, for lack of a better term, like, it had more distinction that this game has trying to be its own thing. And that's a disappointment, because like I was really looking forward to Axiom Verge 2 from the moment it got announced, after having had an amazing experience with Axiom Verge. This one, it just like, it doesn't. Another thing that it does is that either it doesn't follow the events of the first one, or maybe it does, but it's so abstract with nonsense that you can't put them together. Wow. Even all the way to the very end, I was like, no, I'm gonna have to like check an explanation to this, because like this was, I mean, it was satisfactory enough for the small time that I spent with it, but as an establishing a universe, it's like, I don't know, it didn't do a great job. Mm-hmm. These environments are, there's potential here, but it wasn't developed properly. And speaking of the environments, I have to talk about the ugly side of things, and it's the fact that believe it or not, the graphics. I wouldn't say graphics are ugly, because it's not that. It's not that. It's just that I'm not sure if they were going for an 8-bit or a 16-bit on this one. But the style of it was not super great. It tries to bring back the glitch effect, but it feels very tacked on. Like the glitch effect gets literally used as as just going from one scene to another, basically.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like a transition. Like it, like that's it. It's like, okay. Whether on the first one, having glitchy areas of the world, man. Well, first you didn't know what the fuck they meant, because it was like, hey, this area is all glitched out in the game, and then you discover, then you unlock things that allow you to bypass those areas, or use the glitch to your advantage, or many things. So
okay.
So yeah, like I already mentioned, the game is okay, but it's not going to be as good as its predecessor. And there was also some buggy enemy behavior. Although, to be fair, it seems like lately it has been mostly ironed out. But I remember when I started playing that game, there were areas where the enemy will get stuck in nothing, just going back and forth like real fast, like glitched out.
Yeah.
Like you will think that's part of the. I don't think so. Like you can tell the things that are purposely glitchy and the things that are like, oh no, the game is broke here.
Okay.
And at one point, I didn't mention it because it just happened one time, and it was like I say, it was one of the first times that I played it. But the game crashed on me once, which was So yeah, that was not expected. Like you could tell, this project was probably being pushed too quick for just one person. That was already. They probably hadn't recovered of how much the first game took out of him, Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, if we were to rate it, I will still say that it's still a good game. It's still a 3 out of 5 on our scale.
On the scale, okay.
Yeah, it works out. I would still say, yeah, Mad Dog, try it. You don't need to like rush into getting it right now, but maybe on a deal, on a special.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll just like pull the trigger and then just do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because the other day we were streaming the three. It was me, Dark, and Chaos, and I think you were watching.
I was watching,
and in the midst of Oh, they were playing Ghost of
You're playing
Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah, and they were dying for me to get in to get back into. I cannot. It's one of those things. I haven't done what you got. What
Finish
you
your
guys
thought, because we're gonna talk about that. Finish what you were gonna say about the title that you were gonna buy before you forget, because I am gonna talk about Ghost of Tsushima.
So no, I was just gonna say within that stream, I ended up getting 3 games just because, just because I saw they were on sale, and I'm like, hey. So who knows? I mean, I have the backlog just keeps getting bigger. You know what I mean? So, go ahead, sir.
No, so I might as well just let it out. I actually went back into Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice.
Yay! So here's the thing. You were able to hold on your own, and I gotta give you props for you, because I was watching that stream when Chaos and Dark were streaming, playing Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and they were doing like all sorts of trickery to try to get you into playing it and to guilt you into giving in. And I was like, the allure, I know the allure, it's overwhelming, but try to resist, brother. If you don't want to play that game, don't play that game.
It's not my well, go ahead. I was gonna say my main reason is not that I don't want to play the game, although a part of it is that I already played it. I don't know if I want to go through all of it again just to, because I've heard, for those who have played Iki Island, that if you haven't played the game in a while, you're gonna get slapped in the fucking face. Like, great. So that means I have to really kind of get back into it before anything. And that's one. And then 2, you guys, they were playing the Legends mode, and I've played with them before. I told you the whole incident I had with Monster Hunter, and I was just like, so you just need me to stand here and not move while you guys go fight? Well, that seems like the most fun in the world, And watching them play, I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on. And I'm gonna have to catch up. And we can carry you. It's like, I don't want to be carried.
I want to be carried. Exactly. I want to hold on my own.
This is what I love about Dark Souls when we were playing Dark Souls. It was just like, one, Dark Souls doesn't fucking care. One, and 2, yes, we were because I was into the game already. I was already on that edge. You know what I mean? And so, anyway, go ahead, sir.
So I was playing my game, but the guys kept insisting, and at one point I was like, okay, I remember the stream that I watched, it looks like they were having a blast, and I was like, okay, let me load it in and let me try it. I never played Legends, and I heard the game got it had its what do you call it, the lock on, which I still, the lock feature, which I get it. Not a lot of people are a big fan of it, but it's okay that it's an option, and I can tell you that I played a portion of the single player to try it out, and I fucking loved it. It was like, yes, okay, now I feel like I can actually be a total badass with this, and I'm not just swinging my sword into the air, to an enemy that I cannot see sometimes, because the camera, which is not to say the game has terrible camera, but sometimes it's not super cooperative. So it's when you're swinging at nothing, it kind of look foolish. So no, I love the fact that it has lock-on system. Unfortunately, that lock-on system is not for the Legends mode yet, or if there is, I couldn't figure out a way to activate it. So I had to play the game without it, but it was fine. Actually, I was also concerned of the fact that I was just going to be a total scrub being carried over, and these guys were going to be having all the fun, and I was going to be like, okay, I'll just kill whatever I can. And if I would say that even when obviously they have been playing for longer, so they are performing a lot better, but it didn't feel like my hits were not helping. If at anything, there were areas where I will be by myself defending a location because they were defending the other two locations, and I was holding on my own pretty well. It's like yes, Iki Island, you kind of have to like retrain yourself how to play this game again, because especially if you've been playing fucking Dark Souls the whole time, you realize that the shoulder button don't do shit here. And it's very annoying when you come to the realization that you actually have to press the face buttons. But once it comes back real quick. Like I had no problem getting back on it, getting back on that horse and just like mauling Mongols left and right. And it felt really good. And because you are playing you start at bronze, but you're playing with people that are helping you. And when I say helping you, I don't mean in the carrying sort of way. Like when I was playing the Division, I felt like I was being carried. And when you describe Monster Hunter, like, yes, that feels like you were being carried. I don't think that this particular game lets you be carried, because like your hits are gonna connect just as strong as theirs. They might have weapons that might allow them to do maybe a little bit of extra damage or maybe a little bit of extra something, but at the end of the day, you don't feel like a lesser samurai next to them. And I had an unbelievable amount of fun, and it was the fun of just playing with those guys. And I was like, at the end of it, I was like, okay, Dark. All right, Dark. I gotta thank you, because I didn't think this was gonna change my tune, especially on a game that I did not super enjoy when I played the single player campaign, though, because it was bad. It's just everybody is well, or most everybody is like super super in love with this game. I just like it. I don't love it. I just like it. But I gotta admit, the Legends section was super, super fun. And logo. And then a spiral will drop happen.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, de eso se formó. That became crazy. And when I say crazy, it's like one of the most fun I've had. The thing that I was like, man, like next time, like should I text Mad Dog and try to convince him somehow? Like I was asking, like should I text him and just let him know that, hey, listen, me, I was not the biggest fanboy of this game, and I'm having a blast. I'm not being carried. This is actually very fun. You should try. You should install it again. Should I? And but of course, then if we were full already, like I wasn't gonna waste time to let you know. Well, you actually kind of have to not wait. Wait now. But dude, I was playing until 4 a.m.
Nice.
Which I haven't done in a while. And it was also the Legends itself. It's kind of that, right? It's there's stories that the storyteller is narrating, where it throws you into the world of Tsushima, but very mystical in the sense of, well, now the Mongols may have like superpowers, or they might be demons, or forget the actual Japanese term that they use for when they say demon, or they might have like, I don't know. It tries to throw in a mythical aspect that the original game, obviously being rooted in more like a reality. It doesn't go cosmic or crazy, and it ends up being a lot of fun, because you think, oh, I've battled these soldiers before. Yeah, but you haven't battled them in this way. And when there is, when suddenly there's so many enemies on the screen, and you have 3 of your allies, with you, like just mowing them down, and suddenly there's an area, because in the game, in the game type that we were playing, you kind of have to defend. Let's say 4 areas, and what you want to make sure is you want to try to make sure that that the enemy doesn't take one of the areas, because if you can complete 15 waves without losing a single area, you get like better gear.
Okay.
And the way that the gear works, it's very similar to the way the gear in Destiny works, where it's almost like, you got your normal, you got your blues and your purple, and
your epics, your legendary,
your epics, yeah.
Okay.
So and they all have like I'm gonna call it light levels. They're not called light levels on it, but it's something similar where while you're progressing, you want to make sure that you're just wearing whatever has the highest, the highest number, so you can continue getting better and better gear. I started at level 5, which is the game starts you at level 5, and I ended up like at level 40 something, maybe. I don't remember. Okay. But you go in real fast, and you unlock different character types. Like, for example, you could be a samurai, which is kind of like your all-arounder. You could be a hunter, which she's good with at range, basically bow and arrows and attacks like that. Doesn't mean that that's the only way that you attack, but that's your specialty. Mm-hmm. You got your Ronin, which is kind of like a support a support class. It has healing capability. He can heal you from like literally the other side of the map if it needs to be, but it's on cooldown, so you need to be smart about using it. And the other class, I am forgetting what it is. Assassin, is it? I don't know. I'm forgetting the other one, but
I don't know.
Some class. It looks really rad. It's just I haven't seen anybody using it, because for the most part I was samurai, because I was trying to level up that character, because I figured, well, I'll start with this one. It's the first one that the game allows me to, to unlock. But I do. I'm sorry, bro. You're gonna have to try it. You're gonna have to try it with them. We're gonna have to try it together. Let's put it this way. Ghost of Tsushima. Mm-hmm. A 3 out of no, I didn't give it a 3. I gave it a 3.5, if anything, right? I probably gave it.
I don't recall.
I think I gave it a 3.5. It feels right to say I give it a 3.5. Whether everybody else would give it a 6 out of 5, but so the last thing I expected was for me to go in and spend the $30 on getting the upgrade, which I was completely against. Remember the previous night I was like, fuck that $30. That $30 for a graphics improvement and that, like, fuck that, Sony. I by the end of the night I was like, here's my PayPal. I want to fucking upgrade, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna be playing this a lot more, and this is gonna become my Thursday multiplayer romp game. Usually my Tuesday multiplayer romp game, which is because Chaos and Dark they're off. That they usually work at night. So if they're off, then they could be playing until like forever in the morning. I can't stay until forever in the morning, but I might go to bed at 2,
I can handle a 2 a.m.
I can handle a 2 a.m. But no, dude, if I'm a believer, someone like you that loves samurai, that love this type of games, that love Ghost of Tsushima in general as a game, I can see you easily like realizing like, okay, this was actually fun. You don't feel like a weakling at all. Trust, honestly.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The other game that I played was Dark Souls 3. I defeated the cursed rotted Greatwood.
Oh, that fucking thing, yeah. With the balls.
Yeah, that's a tree. It was a rotted tree with a nutsack. And you got to hit it with a nutsack. You got to explode it. No, I'm not going to continue.
That's pretty accurate, though.
Needless to say, it was a long drawn battle. Not because it was like super difficult, although at first while you're trying to figure out what the hell to do, you're like, this is impossible. But then it's like every other boss in Dark Souls. Like once you figure out exactly what it is, it's like, oh, okay, well, let me try to perform exactly what it is. But it was still hard because he has a hand in the front that just grabs you, and he can pretty much one-shot me at that point. But
Okay.
but it was fun. It was okay. I'm still going on it, and that hasn't stopped. But I'm not gonna bore you with more Dark Souls talk, because I mean we've done that damage enough.
We may have literally damaged that game. All listeners.
Yeah. And well, that's all I've been. No, wait. I did promise off camera.
Mm-hmm.
This was just to you guys. I said I was gonna talk about a game that I was playing that you need to brace yourself.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
this is the moment, and I'm gonna get I'm gonna get serious now. This game that I played. Fallout 76.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
I played Fallout 76, bro. Are we still friends?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I have no judgment for anybody who plays that game. It's just, yeah, I'm not gonna play that
game. Again? Wait, did you play it?
Yeah, I told you I rented it. I literally went to Redbox. I rented it so I can play it for a few hours.
You rented it? Holy shit! I feel like okay.
This was before all the updates. This was probably a few weeks in.
A few weeks in,
yeah.
Wow.
I only played it for that one night and brought it right back. It's okay. I see what's about. I see the issues.
I can talk about it now.
Yeah. Well, just actually, I think that was probably the main reason, so I can have a conversation about it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Wow. Okay. I feel like I just I just admitted to a crime, and you're like, "Oh, bro, I've done that too." Don't worry. I've been there. Yeah. How many corpses? Yeah, dude. Come here, son. Let me tell you a tale. A tale of legends. No. So this game was obviously on Game Pass. I'm not gonna go out of my way to buy it. So I saw it on Game Pass, and that's the scary thing. I haven't really fully explored what's available on Game Pass, because I feel like I'm already playing like too many things at the same time. Like I don't want to jump into yet another thing. I recently downloaded the Ascent, and I haven't gone back, even though I was enjoying that game a whole lot. But it's because I need to take a break. I need to finish. I need to do Dark Souls. I need to do Dark Souls for me. So I grabbed this game because at that point I was too curious. I wanted to know more, and I heard good things lately, and I wanted to check it for myself. So I haven't played enough to rate it. So I'm not gonna rate. I'm not gonna give a score. However, I am still gonna give it a 3-fer. Okay. So good, bad, and ugly. Starting with good. Appalachia is a vast map. It seems like it might take you some time to explore, and that's one of my favorite things about Fallout was the exploring portion. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate the fact that I open the map and it looks like a large area, and I don't know if it breaks into other areas or if it's just that one map, but I feel like that one map might just be enough for me. There is a campaign now, as opposed to when you played it.
There were campaigns. They were
robots telling you to find the other robot telling you to that. Yeah, no, I'm talking about humans that have settled, because the humans have settled back, and now this is now a semi-normal Fallout game. when it comes to the story, because it's gonna be delivered the same way as it was delivered on the other games. Where you stop it, suddenly you're face to face with the character and you make your selections and da. So the way it seems to break it is interesting, because there are decisions. There's gonna be some decisions you're gonna be making, right? In this type of games, there always are, but it can't break the game for other people, right? You can't be making other decisions unless that decision is, let's just drop the bomb here, which that affects everybody on that particular area of the server. And that's actually like, I always like the idea from what I heard, it is just the first time that the the execution of that game when it came out, let's just say it left a lot to be desired. So now I found that it has this interesting thing where if the game is meant, like if you're meant to have something on the story that is like a decision for yourself or your team members, if you have friends on your party, you suddenly go into this instance. And by instance, I mean, like, it could be something as simple as just, enter into this diner. Go into this diner, and when you go into this diner, you're by yourself and your buddies, and you have your actual missions, and you have your characters that you talk to, and it's like a normal NPC, and it's wonderful because you're like, oh, you guys are here. They fixed it.
They live.
Yes, it's not like fucking robots, and you, because remember, he wanted you to be the NPC, whatever his name is. I forgot his name now. The director of the whole that guy.
That fucking guy who lied.
Yeah, exactly. So you make those decisions there, and then you get out and you go on your way. The music itself, it's very appropriate. It's good. I tried not to put the stations too much, because I wanted to see how they, the normal ambience of the game, like the area. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to see if, like, the music will strike me as something that will make me feel more in the game, and it did, and it totally does. It's actually quite good. The graphics are improved also. This is, I mean, it's still that engine, but it has been touched up quite a bit. It's not a super looker. Like, I wouldn't call it like, oh, these graphics are gorgeous or anything like that.
It never was, yeah. So
it never was, exactly. This types of games
there's
never
no
were.
way of them getting there either. So.
No. But I'll be like, I saw areas like, especially when you talk to the Mr. Handies or whatever they call, like, there's different robots that you encounter, and the way they look, it's actually, you can see like the chrome shine on the at any part that is meant to be like chrome area, and like the environment itself, it looked nice. It looks like something that I'll be interested in exploring. Again, not a super looker, but it was fine. And it also has this gameplay mechanic where you immediately are assigned your camp, that is CAMP, because it breaks it down like that, because everything's a fucking acronym in that game.
Oh, okay.
And I forget what it stands for, but it's basically your home.
It stands for
you can actually make it as extravagant as you wanted to make it, but somehow you can also make it it's mobile, so you can actually like change where the location of it. It's kind of weird, because once you set up your camp, it's like there's a vast area around you where no other players can establish their own, their camp. And one of the things that it did to me that was kind of strange was that I had already I had settled my camp, but I haven't put a lot of things or anything like that. It was just there. I left the game there. And then the next day when I logged in, like, it told me like, oh, another player is in there. You got to move your camp. It's like, what the fuck? Like that, I was here first. But I think maybe he loaded up maybe like a larger camp, or I don't know how the game does its hierarchy where it determines who gets what space. I like the space that I had because it was near the closest settlement for like quests and stuff, but I had to move, so the game told me to move, so I had to move. Whatever.
What can you do? Yeah.
What can I do? But it's fine because it's just like touch a button and you take everything with you. So that's totally good. To be honest with you, I was expecting a lot less. The bad, I will say, is that the game still expects you to figure out a lot of its mechanics. And it presents you with a lot of things that are going to overwhelm newcomers. There were some things that it tried to explain so many things at you and so quickly that you're not gonna retain all of that. You're not gonna remember how to do that. You kind of have to figure shit on your own. And on top of that, you might not have a lot of time to do so because this is a total survival MMORPG. I'm gonna call it a multiplayer online RPG that has food and thirst mechanics. It has sleep mechanics. It has sickness mechanics. So if you sleep on the floor, you could get sick. Yeah,
that's just too much.
You could get a debuff. That's what I'm saying. It is. I didn't realize that this game was going like balls in for like total survival type of game. I thought it was just like the Fallout games where, hey, if you want to activate that, that's fine. But if you don't want to, you don't have to worry about it. No, this game will require you to make sure you're hydrated. And it's not like pure water is available everywhere. So sometimes you have to figure, well, do I drink from this toilet or do I die of thirst? It's gonna be, and you can get sick, you can get radiated. It's all that kind of stuff. So, needless to say, if you suffer from anxiety or if you're one of those mech maxers, you're probably gonna hate it. I'm sure there are ample ways to survive the wasteland. But the game does a shit job and it will not hold your hand. It just throws you there. And then of course he has the special that is SPECIAL because the game spells it out with dots.
But they always had that.
What does it stand for?
Oh shit! You're well, obviously your special limits, I guess, of
no, but what is the S is for?
Stamina.
No, it's strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence. No, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. I forgot those two. Okay, it's funny because I hadn't written this time, but the first time when I was trying to figure it out, I was trying to see if I can remember it, and I was lucky to remember them all. So that makes a comeback, of course, because that's part of Fallout. But it still doesn't explain shit. Like it tells you what each things are, obviously, and you kind of have already an idea what charisma does. But then after you make a selection, it throws you these cards, and you don't know if these choices are permanent or not. Like I ended up finding out later on that the choices are not permanent. When you hit level 25, you can actually like re-roll, or I don't know if that costs anything or whatever. But still, it doesn't feel good when you're not having a full understanding of, well, why am I keeping this card? Suddenly I have to assign them. I didn't even know that I had to assign them. And again, another one of those things that the game does not explain to you, or if it does, it just does it in a quick tooltip that it just throws at you for like 5 seconds and expects you to, you missed it, sorry. There's no way to find it, there's no way to get it back from anywhere, so go watch a YouTube video. Which I had to do. So, and then of course it's pointless to talk about VATS because VATS, it's basically, VATS on Fallout, on the previous Fallout games, it pauses your game and it lets you select, make choices of where you want to hit or whatnot, right? And you guys know that there's no pausing on a multiplayer game. So what that does here is that it's just like a drunk auto aim, which is virtually useless for melee builds. So if you're attacking with a machete, for example, you might as well just swing it wildly, because it's gonna make more sense than trying to use VATS to where it'll say, "Oh, you got 75% chance," but by the time that the machete is actually swinging, because action is happening on the screen, that 75 turned into a 5% or something like that. It's like, it's completely pointless. So it is unnecessary. And the ugly, I will say, you will expect me to say the graphics here, but I honestly didn't find it that bad. I will say that the ugly is the feeling that I might jump into this game sometime in the future.
So you're the ugly, is what you're saying.
I am the ugly.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And that, ladies and gents, is my Fallout 76 report. It's a game that was completely mega broken when it came out in so many ways. Even in real life. No, actually,
I know, I'm just messing with
I will give it.
I'm just hating because I want to hate.
No, yeah, exactly. It's not as bad. I'm not gonna say it's not broken. It probably is in many ways. Well, who knows? But it's an experience. Like if you're looking for a survival game, like if you're into those type of games and you want to give it a try, I think it'll be worth your while. I'm not sure that I'm that type of player yet, but
okay.
So yeah, that's my report. I mean, I watched another episode of What If, but I'm not gonna talk about specific episodes, other than to say that I really like the animation on this series a whole lot.
Okay, well, I am gonna talk about this series.
Okay, all right, there you go.
Feel free to jump
sounds
in.
Sounds good. Because I do want to talk about it more. I just didn't know if you were into. I know you're into, but if you were gonna, but yes, go.
Yeah. I'm completely caught up. Episode 3 is the one that just recently airs. What if the world lost its mightiest heroes? Which was like.
It was crazy.
Pretty freaking cool.
It was crazy.
It was pretty cool. I would say one thing about this one that it suffered in did. So one of the things that the actual series suffers in, you can say, is that it's a broad brush. I've said it a million times. It's like you're going through usually the events of a specific film, and kind of going through in a different path or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Here, they were literally doing that, but there were 3 films, and to be fair, these 3 films did take place pretty much right next to each other in the timeline of things. So it made sense, that some events would. Or a major thing that occurred here could spill into some of the other events. And the other thing was pretty cool. I think what happened and how it happened and why it happened. If you can't tell from the title, essentially we end up not having the heroes we end up having in the Avengers film, and so it's what happened, what happened to them, and I didn't guess at first what it was, to be honest with you. And I'm not going to spoil it.
I didn't either. It was cool to find out, though.
Yeah. I think it made perfect sense with what was going on, but I had no clue. I was like, especially when it came to the Hulk, I was just like, what the hell is happening to him? I don't know what's going on here. I was like, man, something went wrong with the gamma. I don't know what the hell was going on. It was pretty crazy, but cool. Yeah. I really am. This episode, I can also say, is again not a bad episode. Just say of the 3 so far, this would be my 3rd favorite, essentially. And I still
my second.
Yeah, I still love freaking Captain Carter. I absolutely love Captain
That's
Carter.
My least favorite.
I want more of that now.
So
I just want it to have its own freaking series. And I know it wouldn't make sense because obviously these are the events of the thing.
Do you believe that this? Because I don't. Do you believe this is meant to be like a cohesive alternate universe, or do you think these events are completely random, completely different universes or alter verses that these episodes do not relate to each other at all?
No, I think that these episodes do not relate to each other at all.
Okay, that's what I believe. Also,
they're complete strands.
Yes.
Of whatever. And I love, by the way, when you see the Watcher in the background, you just see him in the background. He's just watching. I'm like, that is so fucking cool. And
is the Watcher the ultimate? Like I'm having a hard time figuring out. Like, okay, who the fuck is the ultimate thing? Like, who is?
There is none. You have to let that shit go, bro. Because
you can't.
The ultimate this week is not the ultimate next week. It's what it comes down to. And
you need to sell comics.
I know that was and that's exactly how the comics are. It's just exactly what it is. There was a time, believe it or not, when Spider-Man inherited some cosmic powers, and he was literally the strongest superhero the entire universe for a short period of time, because of what he had accidentally inherited. And no, it's not the fucking symbiote suit. It was something else completely. Cosmic power, some shit. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? Because at some point it's like someone else is going to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who is the strongest really depends on what is the story you're trying to tell.
You know TVA.
And so many stories. Yeah, but that's just in Loki, right? In Loki, and I guarantee you, at some point you're gonna come. And if you really look at Loki, just look at Loki right now. Is it TVA the strongest? Because it doesn't look like that by the end, does it? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like it doesn't really. It's who's the most powerful. It doesn't really matter, but I do believe that they're completely strands that are just, out there that are different things. Now, will they pull some things from this to play around with in some of the future shows or future movies? I don't know. But I do know the reason I like the Captain Carter, dude. It was just obviously, first off, I've always been a big Captain America fan. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this, especially when I was seeing Captain America just remain the scrawny dude. It's like, I don't like this, But then she was so freaking badass, bro. I was just like, she was, every time she was in the battlefield, I was like, damn, that is badassness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's some serious thing. And she was doing things, obviously, that because she was leaping from the top of a building, falling on the way. I'm like, yeah, you didn't see this guy do that in the movies. Granted, this is an animation, and they're going to again
exaggerate
with a different brush. Yeah. So, but he has falling from really high, and she did the shield land where she had the edge of the shield hits the floor. He did that in Winter Soldier. So it's some of those things, but she also did. Again, because of the freaking animation, it's so freaking cool. There's this beautiful shot when they go to the castle or something like that. This is not a spoiler, other than the fact that she looks really cool in this. Go to this castle at some point, and she just slow motion dives in, and I'm just like, damn, this looks awesome. When she's on the well, that's a spoiler, so I'll leave that one out. But when she's on the back of whatever, that was also pretty cool. It reminded me of Big Hero 6 too, which I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, which is another Marvel property, by the way. And I liked the second one. And this one here, the reason I call it my least favorite is because I feel like there's some question marks that I've watched the other two, by the way, I think 3 times each already.
Oh god!
Because I keep like somebody hasn't seen it, they come over and like, well, let's fucking put it on.
Let's fucking watch it.
Yeah. So, and it also made me answer some questions of the first one, Captain Carter, which I had first time I came out of it. I was like, this was good, and I really liked it, but I had some questions about it. They didn't make much sense. And then when I watched it again, I was like, oh, got it. I was able to put the pieces together. And same thing with the second one. So maybe I need to watch this one again. But overall,
probably, yeah.
I liked a lot of it. It was cool seeing some of the same characters. Also really cool knowing that almost all the actors are being voiced by but
the original by the actors that played them on the cinematic.
MCU counterpart, Not all of them, but the majority of them. And
Mhm.
it's like it's really cool to see it and hear it, and it's like, oh, this is great, you know. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and I want to say that this is one of the more cooler uh series that I've watched. And again, it's so cool. I
Mhm.
normally wait for it all to come out, but these are so disconnected. I now I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I just watch the next one as it comes, and it's that little thing I get to do in the middle of the week. You know what I mean?
They, they
It's
are
like,
they are unique. When did they come out? What's the actual day? It's is that the day the Loki had the slot that Loki had?
I think it's Wednesdays is usually
Wednesdays.
when it
Okay,
is.
so it's the day. Okay, so it's the same slot that Loki had then. Because I also find it incredibly entertaining. You know that I'm a I'm a big fan of alternate reality, so alternate fiction that's like right there with it. So something that is established already, like what if Superman was actually a dictator or shit like that, is like I've always been enamored with that idea. So this when I heard about the idea of this series, I was like, okay, well, this is right on my alley. I need to check this out. And I am I am so in love with the art style and the animation and the art style of this that which is I mean I could be wrong and I might be saying heresy, but this is very Western style, right? This is not made by some Japanese studio, is it? That I know that we know of.
It's a good question. Let me take a look. I have no. Honestly, I would, if I had to guess, I would say no. That it's being done by on our end.
But not right, because they are the like like a lot of people hold like some animes to be like, oh, this is the ultimate expression of animation in some cases, and I mean not to come, I mean obviously Disney has its properties that could rival it, but I mean in the general sense of the geekdom, a lot of people tend to hold like some animes like, oh my god, this is like this looks amazing, and I was never a super big fan of the westernized animation with some of the characters. I find that they tend to make him a little bit too angular and rectangular and kind of weird, you know. Which is funny because a lot of the anime characters are kind of the opposite. They go kind of triangular, and this one's ours for some reason. Batman needs to look like a fucking box for some whatever with a box jaw and everything. It's like, okay, but no, none of that shows in here. In here, it's like beautifully I was gonna say rendered, but or I guess it could be rendered. I don't know if it's assisted, but it looks beautiful. It looks complete. You know, you could, it doesn't look like they're reusing cells or if that's even a thing now, or assets, right?
A lot of what we're watching is 3D, just 3D animation, but it has that cell shaded look to it, and
that's so computer assisted. Okay,
it
okay,
is computer assisted.
I freaking love it. Yeah, and that might be heresy because. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say it is done by Flying Bark Productions, which is an Australian animation studio.
Oh wow! Okay, no,
shout out to the Aussies.
That's it, it's kind of amazing. It's one of the things I enjoy the most is actually looking at the detail of the at the detailing on the frames and the animation and all of that is like, I am so into it. And then on top of that, they are giving me very interesting stories, and because it's alternate, also Disney says, oh, this is alternate, it doesn't matter. Like, they're taking liberties that you wouldn't fucking that they will never expect. I mean, in this guy, it's not a spoiler because it was actually it's the freaking name of the thing. It's like, oh, there's heroes here that never made it to here because they died before they could, before they could become one. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna spoil how, but the reveal is pretty awesome, and like it's. I appreciate the fact that they're not gonna care. They're not gonna be so precious with their properties. Like over here, they're actually gonna be taking some liberties and just gonna go. They're gonna tell crazy stories, and I love that. Give me some crazy stories. Like, sure, if you want to tell me that the freaking Black Panther is now I was gonna call him Lone Star. Star Lord. Lone Star is from Spaceballs. Star Lord is like, yes, I'll eat that up. I love that idea. Give me more.
It was great how his involvement, I think I said this before, maybe at some point, but his involvement changed the trajectory of the Ravagers. You know what I mean? And I was just like, of course it would. That makes perfect. It's like I said, that's what I love about the show. While it does paint with, I feel like I'm saying this all the time. It's a broad brush they're using. It still fills in blanks to these major changes that, like I said, I had a major thing with the first one, Captain Carter. I was like, I like this, but I have a huge question mark, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get this answer. And I must have missed it the first time, because watching it the second time, I was like, how the fuck did I miss that? You know what I mean? But it still completely makes every new angle and new change. You can easily point at it as saying, okay, I know why it's like that. The second one being with well, I guess again, I want to spoil it, but anyway, some characters have this weird change, and you're just like, at first you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't, and then you go, well, I guess that makes sense if they're not going to be doing what they normally would be doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I am really digging this series for sure.
Yeah. Probably one of my favorites of the whole Disney Plus thing
so far. Yeah, I would definitely agree. I can certainly agree with that. Certainly agree with that. As far as what I have been also watching, I did rewatch an older movie, and for some reason I'm falling down this old movie rabbit hole that I remember loving these. Like last time I saw Rules of Engagement, which was with Samuel Jackson and freaking somebody else. Anyway, the point is, I remember I was like, man, I want to check this out, because I want to see a law movie, and that's what that movie's about. And it also has military, and I love these guys, and it has a pretty decent cast as well. So I was like, oh man, I remember these movies, and these are like mid-90s movies,
Yeah.
So I did the same thing again, and it was another law film, and it's A Time to Kill, with Matthew McConaughey, Sandra Bullock, and of course, Samuel L. Jackson. He comes back.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
On the stand again, so he's consistently defending himself. This is by a certain director that you would appreciate, Mr. The Number 23, Joel Schumacher, directed this film. And
only I'm a Schumacher fan, huh?
No, you like The Number 23, and I don't. That's all it takes to suddenly.
Apparently, he had an ending, so you decided to not like it. So.
Yeah. I remember. So a funny thing about this was I remember reading the book, and I read the book actually after watching the movie. And
The Number 23.
No, A Time to Kill.
Okay.
And it is, so if you don't know what the story is basically the whole thing takes place in Mississippi, and Samuel Jackson's character, he has a daughter. I want to say she's 10, maybe something like that. They're in Mississippi, and these crazy I'm gonna just call it out there, crazy rednecks who are obviously pretty blatantly obvious racists, actually jump her and rape her and try to kill her, and she ends up surviving and all that stuff. And the two guys, they go into trial, and of course Samuel Jackson goes to his friend who's Matthew McConaughey, and he's an attorney. And he's like, basically he basically says, would you help me out if I ever get into trouble for something? And of course he's like, well, sure, but obviously his daughter was raped. What do you think he's going to fucking do? So he goes and takes these guys out. Now he's on trial. So the trial really at this point is more on him for taking the law into his own hands. Matthew McConaughey is sort of an attorney who's new to the game, but not completely new. And so he's defending him. And in the end, you just by the trailer, you would just know, realistically, as much as we can all say, yeah, I agree with what he did, he still took he still took the law into his hand to still kill two guys, and it becomes that a crazy a southern story. Overall, the film it holds up well from when I first saw it. Well, wait, it's 1996 when it came out. It holds up well. The ending is very abrupt in the sense that just things fall into a place where you're like, okay, well, that was quick. Yeah, I was like, okay, I guess that's that. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. We don't have to spoil a movie from 1996.
Honestly, 1996. Essentially, and if you read the book, essentially, he's able to, they're able to get him off. But it's just the moment you hear, that he was acquitted. From that point to this credits, I swear to God, it's like 2 minutes. It's like all this setup, and it's like, but there's so much you need to address. You know what I mean? In the sense that they're and it just and I guess it does technically address something, but it's just so fast. It just feels so fast. It's like, oh my God! It's like they spend so much time in the middle portion of the movie, which is very interesting. That the wrap up is quick, and then there is something to be said about some. I don't want to say they're cartoonishly because they're not, but some people are just evil to be evil. And I'm like, I have to believe in the world. There's people that, I'm sure that there are people who are bad who think that they're good, and here it's almost cartoonishly evil in some cases, but it has a cast, dude. Matthew McConaughey, Sandra Bullock, which I mentioned, Samuel Jackson, who else? Because I just got you have Kevin Spacey, who plays the district attorney, who's going to
you crucified this movie already now.
Yeah, Sutherland and Keith Sutherland, so both of them are there. Ashley Judd. I mean, it's got a bunch of Chris Cooper. I mean, the cast is ridiculous. It's like a ridiculous cast. It's just like I see people come in and just like, wow, I even forgot they were in here. Anyway, really, really cool trip down memory lane, but nothing to really write home about. So, and then as far as
its time,
definitely a movie of its time. And I'm glad I rewatched it again because I love, again, law films or law shows even. Anyway, and still playing Hitman. And actually technically completed the story in Hitman. And
yeah, you did.
I've been just delving back into all the little things that this game has.
The loose ends. You're tying up the loose ends.
I was doing a lot of the little things to try to open up all the challenges or complete all the challenges, open up all the opportunities and all this stuff, because they have unlocks that you can use in future missions. And somebody just started getting a little bored with that. So I started going into stuff that was actually new and I didn't even know was there. The Sarajevo 6. I started that, and then I kind of got off of the Sarajevo 6 are 6 targets that exist within the maps and events from the main story. So there's one of them at Paris. Now the funny thing is that the situation, what's happening at Paris, is still happening. So the two targets, they're still out there. They're still doing their thing. They're not highlighted as targets, but they're still doing their thing. So it was a little bit odd. I was like, so wait a minute. So why couldn't we just have another event? Why does it have to even include these guys, to have this? But they're just the Sarajevo 6 are one person who wanders the same world and during the same events of the main game. And it was cool at first, and then it was just like, well, this is kind of boring because the world still looks the same. And so then I did these. There's two bonus missions. One of them is at Sapienza, and that one is cool because right in front of the mansion, like you can't even access the mansion now, but right in front of the mansion is this entire movie set that has been set up in the city of Sapienza. And now you're there to take out the star of the thing, but it's still the same map, just completely, redone, and it's at night instead of during the day.
It's smartly reused. Yeah, I think I remember actually delving into that. And one of the things I love about the game, even when I complain about game reusing assets or stuff like that, but no, when you do it like smartly like this way, it's actually like it's a different experience, and it's actually very fun.
It definitely. Those are just one-off missions, and they don't really have much going on as far as story. The story really is just the mission, and I love the briefings. That's like my favorite thing. I replay them every time I start a new. I starting the same one over again, and I still replay the thing because I just love listening to Diana. Welcome back, 47. And then I ended up downloading the Patient Zero, which is actually a bonus campaign that actually has a story. So it has cutscenes in the middle and everything with a story. And they do unfortunately take place in the same locations, but again, the locations are completely reused for something different. There's a location in Thailand that's in the main story. It's the hotel, but the hotel now is completely redone. It's done because now you're here for some cultists that are there who dress up in purple or something like that, and so you're there for a completely different reason. People are all situated in different places. Again, it's at night instead of what it was in the other one. So it does feel different, right? And then from there, it that opens up this thing where, oh snap, we just did something, and now we need to, so you have the cutscene between him and Diana just kind of explaining where to go from next. And now I'm in the second part. Now I'm in Sapienza, but again, it's at night. The mansion is not part of the thing. It's actually at the church because there's a book person there. So it's like this whole different thing, different layout, different ways to get in. And I'm just like, man, this game has so freaking much, man. It's just I can just play this forever.
Yes.
Still have part 2 and 3 to go. Which was
that's the scary part
of this. It was a point of this. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's like I have no idea what the hell to do from here. But I think what I'm going to do, because I was getting a little bit winded or a little bit just, I don't know, just tired of some of it. Because it's also frustrating. There's a lot of setup, right? You have to, if you don't do it right, you can do it over. It's like, oh, it's annoying. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the Patient Zero, and then just call it a day for Hitman 1, and then probably jump into something else before I go to Hitman 2. Nice little palate cleanser. Probably one of the stupid little things that I fucking downloaded for no damn reason. Anyway, that's all I've been doing.
I am the Black Knight.
And we're back, guys. And it is time now for our trailer of the week.
Bring it home.
Trailer of the week, guys, should come.
There's a way home.
No surprise. Yeah. That's exactly what it is, my friend. Should come as no surprise. Of course, we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, yes.
Sir, this is not the first time that we've watched this trailer. It is now my close to 10. This will be your second time, though, watching it. And
my third.
Oh, third. Oh, good. All right. Yeah, you're coming along nicely. So...
You watch it three times. Good.
Yeah,
Next time you're gonna watch the 10 things that you didn't realize on the trailer. Number 1, the YouTube video is like, let's dissect this trailer
and think about all the little things that we can possibly have.
When Spidey was drinking Coca-Cola, notice that the logo was kind of different.
Yeah. So that means he's not in this particular universe.
None of this shit is canon. This is another What If episode.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so sir, your thoughts on this trailer? Because by the moment I start talking, I feel like I'm not going to shut up about it. So go ahead.
Let me tell you, I am super mega all in, and Spider-Man in general has been a superhero that I used to back in the day. I used to consider him like a secondary hero. Like I was like, and I know that's heresy, but I was young and stupid, and I wasn't into a lot of comics or anything like that. So to me, Batman was Batman, and then I knew Superman, but Superman hadn't been cool in ages. Some might argue it hasn't, although I will argue against those people. Yeah. But when the first Spider-Man movie came out in the theaters, and I went to the theaters actually in Puerto Rico. I remember I was traveling, and I went there and watched it, and like I wasn't like. It was an okay film, but it wasn't like I didn't think it didn't hit with me as it hit with you and a lot of other people. It's like, oh my god, this movie is amazing, and then like it didn't do anything to sway my interest in Spider-Man, and then but I did want to know more about it because then I as the MCU started doing it, its movies and all that. And I was like, well, they're exploring a bunch of heroes that I have certainly not had any affiliation before, and I've learned through the cinematic universe for the first time, and this is awesome. So who's left? Oh, Spider-Man. They're making a Spider-Man movie, and then they made the first one, and I was like, well, this Spidey's a kid. And mind you, by that time I had already played like Spider-Man games and stuff like that, and had a different vision of who Spider-Man was. So seeing him as a kid, I was like, I'm not sure I'm into this, and I was very vocal about it. It wasn't until I saw the second one or actually Endgame, and then the second, the second, Far From Home. Mm-hmm. That I was like, okay, this character, I like what this character is doing, and I see where they're coming from with it, and I think it's cool. That's fine. Seeing this trailer now has me all pumped up because first of all, the last movie, No Way Home, ended up in that like crazy cliffhanger. It's like now the whole world knows the identity of Spider-Man. They know who Spider-Man is. Peter Parker. How does that, again, forming another alternate reality from what normally you've seen in the series and the movies and the cartoons and stuff like that? It's like, oh shit, I don't remember. So glad you're saying that. where Spider-Man identity is known. So that immediately, like, that was quite the stinger to end with. So I look at this trailer and dude, like, fucking Doctor Strange. I love me some Doctor Strange, let me tell you. Like, I can't wait for that second movie, but I was not expecting to see him again until his second movie. And he's here. I was like, holy shit, I am all in. It's Spidey and Doctor Strange, and they're gonna fix things. Doctor Strange can rewind time, or he probably has a spell or some craziness, and we already know that at the end of the movie, like, everybody's gonna forget about who he is and stuff like that, and it's just gonna be like that because of course we need to have continuity, we need to have more Spidey movies, but this is gonna be the thing of this one. And then at the very end they throw the reveal of in this case I recognize the rolling grenade of the Green Goblin, but I only knew like, oh, okay, Green Goblin's gonna be here, and then they show a very familiar looking Dr. Octopus.
Good old Alfred Molina, love that guy.
Except that I was like, who the fuck is that?
Who the fuck is this guy?
Who the fuck is this guy? And I'm not in the sense of not in the who the fuck is this guy, as far as like who the fuck is this character? Like, who the fuck is this actor? Like, what the hell? More like, oh, that's odd that they just decided to like not throw one, but two, characters, or maybe even more, because you could argue that the whole city knowing his identity is an enemy in itself. They're throwing these characters, and but they just like at the very end just throw them in there, and he says like, "Hello, Peter. Like, am I supposed to know you?" Like, like that was which I imagine is precisely gonna be his his expression when he shows up. He's like, "Okay, who the hell are you?" Suddenly, and I realized why was it that I was so unfamiliar with this, and how this trailer might have hit even harder for fans of Spider-Man, and it was because the revelation that, oh, by the way, yeah, you might have not seen Spider-Man 2, because I fucking did it, because again, I fell from it, and I was like, okay, this movie was okay, and then 2 happened, and then 3, I heard it was a joke because it was kind of like a fucking musical or some shit like that. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, nope.
It was literally one musical scene which lasted probably 3 minutes, and suddenly it's a fucking musical.
It's a fucking musical. So I was like, nope. Although who knows? I'm very into musicals evidently now, so
it's
I might enjoy
amazing.
it.
This is true. Yeah. It's amazing how word of mouth can do stuff like that.
Oh, exactly.
Some shit, man. It's so weird.
Yeah. That's how I judge all my movies. So.
Through word of mouth.
Through word of mouth. It's like, no, this movie is complete garbage. I've heard.
Trash.
You know,
I don't want this 2-hour long musical with Spider-Man and dancing.
Get out. I should get out of the theater because that movie is trash. I heard. And is no. In all seriousness, I did not watch Spider-Man 2, and so this reveal, like, it didn't hit, like it didn't hit until I had it explained by you. It was like, oh, by the way, yeah, this is actually is the same actor, and I'm like, oh, okay, because it already looked like they were going into the Spideyverse.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a little Inception thing going on there too.
Yes.
Like, oh, yeah, okay.
This actually like 100% it. It's like, okay, there's no doubt. I still think that the whole rumor with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and whoever was the other one, they're gonna make an appearance. It's like, yeah, probably, but I bet you it's just gonna be like a cameo, like a stinger at the end, or a post-credit thing. Like, I don't think it's gonna be about them showing up, because that will almost take away from, first of all, there's already too many cats here. There's too many people, like, fucking Doctor Strange is here. May I remind you? But we don't need 3 Spider-Mans. I don't need 3 Spider-Mans in action at the same time. And this is from someone that saw the Spideyverse and quite enjoyed it. But I don't think this movie necessarily is going to be about that. Now, I could be wrong, and you might get your Tobey Maguire and the other guy.
I have I hate to burst bubbles, stuff like that, or whatever. Or maybe it's not a bubble that needs to be burst, but I'm almost positive that that's what they're doing. As a matter of fact, there's actually a theory.
What they're doing?
That you're going to have the 3 Spider-Man.
Oh, that you're going to have the 3 Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have it.
No, I think if anything, that's what most people want to see.
Oh, for sure. Oh, hands down. And I can tell you right now, even
I don't think that's what's going to happen, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. As a matter of fact, there's a rumor or a theory right now that who he is saying hello, Parker to is not Tom Holland, is actually Tobey Maguire. And that's the rumor at the moment. It's like they all,
now you're taking away a lot from the actual protagonist of this movie.
I mean,
it's almost like a case of too many cooks. Not to make, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. That's what I'm saying. This is where my fear is. Right. It's like this movie has the potential to be absolutely Sony's, for the record, not Marvel's, Sony's. Like best Spider-Man movie, hands down. You know what I mean? I think if they pull in the other ones, it explains so much. Like, so So, for instance, just to look at the main story, just looking at the storyline of what they're trying to do here. He obviously at the end of Far From Home,
They're trying to justify the shitty Spider-Man movies from the 90s. Oh,
no,
from
no, no, no. I'm talking about the
2000s.
the relationship it has with the comics in the sense that
Oh, okay.
in Far From Home, his thing is his identity is revealed. That was done in the comics, but it was done in the comics at Civil War. But here in the MCU, Civil War, he was just a kid. And Civil War had nothing. So in the comics, Civil War was, hey, these heroes need to reveal who they are, as opposed to the whatever the accords that they did in the movie.
Yeah, right.
It was more about, no, we need to know who they are. We need to track them. Obviously, Captain America was against that. Iron Man was for it, and Spider-Man joined Iron Man, and he was the first one to stand at a podium and take off his mask. And that was when the world knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. And in the comics, there is a storyline where he goes to another character that has not been introduced yet. And I'm not even sure if they're going to be introducing him, which is also a sorcerer, to do the same thing. To basically say, can we take it away that no one knows who I am? Can we put it back the way it was? And that's what essentially they're doing here. But the difference is we don't have that character introduced anywhere. So who would you use? Well, we have a sorcerer. You know what I mean? So we're going to use him. And so it makes perfect sense. It's almost as if the comic is one storyline and this or one timeline, and this is another timeline. Like Peter Parker was always destined to lose his or to have his identity revealed. It's just depending what timeline you're looking at. It happened. The timeline in the comic, he did it because he was actually older at some point, and he revealed it during the Civil War, whatever. And here in the movies, it's now because of fucking Mysterio in the last one. I am ridiculously excited for this. I am, and I'm also scared because I also fear that they're gonna fuck it up. You know what I mean? I enjoyed Homecoming. I thought Far From Home was okay. And so here we are.
Yeah, I was the 100% opposite of that.
I know. I know. Because you were like all into it, and I was like, I don't like Mysterio. Mysterio is a joke. He's not even real. If you remember correctly,
I know. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not Mysterio. And oh, by the way, this is supposed to introduce. That's the other thing is Sony's also trying to work its way into the Sinister Six, which they are. That is a film that they're trying to do, and it includes Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin,
should include Mysterio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, so obviously Mysterio is coming back, which we can, if you've watched Far From Home, that's a possibility. Shocker, who, if you look at this trailer well enough, you might see something that looks like Shocker's there. You know what I mean? We have already seen the Vulture because he was in Homecoming, and then there's Sandman. Sandman was actually in Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire, and the musical. The musical, yeah, he was in the musical, and so which will be interesting if he becomes that, because I'm ridiculously excited, bro. I'm so elated, and at the same time I'm like, oh my god, I don't have faith. I don't have faith that they're going to nail this.
I mean, it's I wouldn't have faith on your version, because your version has 3 Spider-Mans fighting, side by side, which it's gonna like take away from
bro. But because if it doesn't, it's gonna be. They are the reason they haven't. Here's the other thing, by the way, real quick. I don't want to see any other trailers. I don't want to see like I just want to. I want to go in with this, but I know we're gonna have at least 4 more between now and December.
And if they reveal any of those, you're already gonna know.
So. I know. That's the sad part. That is the sad part. Yeah. It's like in this trailer, you have already done enough. You have pulled. It's one thing to pull a Dr. Octopus, right? To say, hey, he's from another alternate universe where, that's Spider-Man, whatever. But you pull Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus. And by the way, the reason most people love it is because Spider-Man 2 is commonly known as the best one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then shit, I better get on it then.
Yeah. Also, the relationship between him and Dr. Octopus
Mm.
isn't too different from Marvel's Spider-Man on PlayStation 4.
Oh,
So
I love that.
it's a like almost like a mentor, someone who has
Mhm.
appreciation for him and all that.
Yeah.
Not as well told as obviously, because that one, it's a fucking video game, so you have more time to develop characters and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
But there is that relationship, there is that similar hint, and so Dr. Octopus was not a villain that when you watch that film, you don't walk away with that going, this guy is evil. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Good.
he has a
Because
purpose.
I always thought that just his look is like, oh, okay, so this is a cartoon evil. But if you're
Now,
saying no, then
who knows if that's what they're going to go with. But
I mean, they did him already.
I mean, true, but that doesn't mean they don't change it. See, and then there lies the fear, because the original person who did it is not
Mhm.
here. There's not the original
Right.
writers. They're just
Right.
using the character, and they can do whatever the fuck they want with him, because they can
Right.
always just say, yeah, he's Doctor Octopus, but he's not that Doctor Octopus. You know what I mean? So and then he's just something else.
Mhm.
And I think I would honestly say that of the original Spider-Man films, that was a common theme, to just have a villain who had a reason for doing what they were doing. Because even Green Goblin did, you know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
don't know if you recall, but he even had
I
a
don't
good
remember.
reason for wanting to do what he did. It was his company; they were going to shut him out, and
Right.
and all this stuff. And he ended up taking the thing. He became that. He wanted to leave everything to his son and all that. And Doctor Octopus was the same way. Now, I don't. I had problems with the original Spider-Man 2, and I won't spoil as to what that is, even though it's already old. But it was just certain things were odd, certain
Okay.
choices, where I was like, okay, I get we want, because the main thing was always endless energy, right? That was a big thing in all sci-fi films, right? Creating an endless source of energy,
Unlimited
unlimited
power.
energy. So an energy source that can cure the world's energy problem, essentially. And the Spider-Man 2's version of what they were trying was like, this is a way out there. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, now we're really comic booky here with what they were doing.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's beside the point. My point is to say, I feel like we're already too much on this, but I am very excited for it. And I that's why I've watched the trailer so often, because I'm looking for every little bit. I have watched some videos that broke stuff down and have their own theories on particular things, which is one of them they were saying, and that's not even the only one. It seems to be out there where he's not, because he wouldn't know who Tom Holland is. And if you look at the scene, he's looking at Tom Holland, and then he changes to Spider-Man. How would he doesn't know Tom Holland. He knows Tobey Maguire. So who else would he speaking with? How would he know that that's who Spider-Man is? You know what I'm saying? So, and
Mhm.
which makes perfect sense to me, unless the scene is done, done this way for the trailer, but in the real whatever, it's done differently.
Which,
That could be
let's
that too.
face
Yeah,
it, that's usually
yeah,
what
yeah.
happens.
So that's why the theory is out there. But I'm curious to see. I'm curious. I have a feeling, and that's another thing. This is a big, if they're going for that, because there's images that look like there's Sandman is there. The images look like Electro's in there, and I think Jamie Foxx is in the film as well. So that would mean that's the only reason why he would be there. Um, so
This
now you
is
have a
much
large
already.
ensemble, and
Yeah,
then
that now look at,
now you see the concern. That
now
doesn't
you
mean
have
they
a
can't pull
soup
it off.
of like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
that
sure
doesn't
if
mean they can
I'm
pull it off, or
no,
can't pull it off, but
but
it draws question marks. Exactly.
yeah, they're stacking it's getting the stack against them at that point. It's like, ooh, I don't know if suddenly we need to have all these characters showing for this one film
Well, that's what I'm saying.
that at the
That
very
would make
end is
sense.
gonna end into nothing because this is probably everybody's gonna forget at the end.
So that's what I'm trying to say. That would make sense as to why you need 3 Spider-Man, right? The question is, why would you need all 3 of them in the film? Spider-Man should be able to
Mhm.
handle it. Like, true, But what if he has to take on all these villains from the multiple verses of you know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, Doctor fucking Strange is in there.
I have a feeling that he has the small role, my friend.
That'll be so Sony to do.
I mean, sure. Keep in mind that's a borrowed character. Sony doesn't.
Yeah.
That is definitely a borrowed character. And Doctor Strange has his own movie coming out, so it's like,
yeah,
I have a feeling again it's a very small. Like we've seen probably most of what we'll see of him in that film, in this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And so temper expectations. That's all I have to say. I will throw in. So we're going to transition real quick here to news, the useless news that you can use. And I want to say that the trailer. That's my first piece. The trailer for Spider-Man: No Way Home has broken the record for the most global views in 24 hours.
Oh,
Can
wow.
you guess who had the record before?
Endgame?
Nice.
I mean,
Not hard to figure it out, right? A $2 billion movie. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And the age of the internet. It's like, yeah.
The Endgame had 289 million views in the first 24 hours, and Spider-Man: No Way Home has destroyed that with 355.5 million views in the first 24 hours. So if people are like, comic book movies are dead. No, my friend. They are not.
Who said that?
A lot of people feel like we're in the last days of the comic book movies.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand how they might feel that way because they think like, well, the Stone Saga has ended, but no, these companies are not about to just throw in the towel. If anything, I mean, look at how many movies are coming this year and already started. It's interesting because we're gonna have two new I guess heroes or properties or whichever you want to name them that haven't been introduced in cinema, or at least I don't think there have ever been a movie about the Eternals, right?
No.
Or Eternals and Shang-Chi, what's his name? Shang-Chi. There you go. We haven't seen it either, and it'll be sad if suddenly these movies are out, but they're like not acknowledged at all in the rest. It'll feel so.
Welcome to the movement that is Spider-Man. He is the major, which is why, literally, this is why Sony acquired that license. You know what I mean? This is the reason why they did, because they knew Spider-Man is always going to be front and center. As far as the MCU, and the second one would be the X-Men, right? But the X-Men is a team, so at that point, Fox acquired them, and then of course MCU came about, and they're like, "Fuck, we let these guys go. We got to get them back somehow." And the only holdout is Sony. Sony's like, "No, motherfuckers, no, we own that. We'll work together, but that's as far as we're gonna go."
You know what's that? Is that? I mean. That's certainly not in perpetuity, is it? Like, did they sell? Like, did they really sell the right? Is that how it worked out?
I think there is a clause. I remember hearing or reading or something a while ago where they have to. There's a certain amount of time that a Spider-Man movie has to be made by Sony, otherwise the rights revert back. I want to say that was what we were referring to. I'm not sure if that. I may have been reading about the X-Men, but the X-Men don't matter now because fucking Disney owns Fox. But Sony is obviously, they don't own Sony, and they own the rights. And
yet,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But I remember that being a thing where they have to continue to make. They have to use the license, otherwise the rights revert back. If they sit on it and do nothing with it, then se jodieron.
Hey, for the longest time, they weren't doing anything. It didn't feel like they were. Because I doubt that they were waiting for the MCU to explode. Like, Sony getting Spider-Man was a calculated move because they knew MCU. Well, wait, the MCU happened like years later. We're talking about by that time, Sony already had like 3 movies under the belt with Spider-Man. I can see it getting it because he is an important hero, like what I will call a tier A hero,
So here's the timeline so far so Spider-Man came out in 2002. By the way, that makes me wrong about the X-Men. X-Men came out first. X-Men was 2000. That's my bad. Okay. So Spider-Man came out 2002. Spider-Man 2 in 2004, the following in 2007. From there, there's a leap of about 5 years to Amazing Spider-Man in 2012, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 in 2014. At this point, in that basically Spider-Man 3, that was before the MCU. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 was within the MCU. At that point, MCU existed. And then in 2016 is when the first agreement happened, and now you saw Spider-Man in Civil War. So they were making movies consistently at that point. And I think before that, I'm not sure when they sold the rights to it, but before that, all they had to do is re-up the rights, right? Because it's like, well, no one's using it. But then when they started using it, it's like, okay, now it's on that timeline.
Yeah.
And now they were forced. That's where I think Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 were they were not good. Just in essence, they were not good.
Well, all right. I guess we are going into. I don't have any other superhero news unless we want to. Unless you have anything you want to get out of the way before we go into like gaming.
No, I think I've pretty much gushed about what I'm excited about. So.
All right. Well, if you are expecting characters with superhero powers almost in the next Saints Row, I would say don't hold your breath, because Saints Row is getting a reboot that'll be out in February of 2022. Ooh, that's very close. If I'm not mistaken, that's around the time that Horizon Journey to the West is happening, right?
I have a news piece that has like everything from Gamescom. So yeah, right around the same time. Yeah, February 18th, I think it was.
Oh, okay. Shit, this was the Gamescom announcement, wasn't it? I might as well get out of it because it's the same row and it deserves its own spot.
It does. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of enjoyed it. But again,
as teased by Jeff Keighley last week, Saints Row is the next video game series to get a reboot. Developer Volition has announced that the newest title, which is just called Saints Row, is scheduled to be released on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on February 25th, 2022. Poor Switch is like crying in the corner, like looking through the wall, through the window, to the rainy window. Oh,
they should have released the Switch Pro, but no.
Sounds like someone's angry.
A little bit. It's just sitting there, and honestly, I have no desire. There's nothing to fucking play. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So anyway, Saints Row, as I was saying, Saints Row titles are renowned for their over-the-top open world gameplay that feels more inspired by cartoons than Grand Theft Auto. Funny because the first actual Saints Row that came out on Xbox 360, I want to say,
never came anywhere else either, too.
That was very grounded. There was no craziness. That was very Grand Theft Auto, or wanted it to be. Like you could definitely see that they wanted to be Grand Theft Auto. When they realized it couldn't, that's when they went about. Well, what about if we just turn it crazy? Let's put a purple bat dildo, and we'll go from there. And hey,
that shit was real.
It worked for them. Yeah. Originally The Verge. Wow. Originally a ripoff of GTA, the franchise quickly grew into a consistently funny spoof of franchises, including, oddly enough, Mass Effect and Michael Bay's Armageddon. Okay. The reboot looks to eject some of its more indulgent references, but maintaining the core gameplay that prioritizes fun over silly things like reality, quote unquote. There appears to be weird outfits, cool card, absurd weapons aplenty. So we're not gonna miss that. At least that part. It's gonna
At
be
least, yeah.
crazy weapons and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe a purple dildo or two. It also appears to have adopted another very welcome hallmark of the original franchise: a diverse cast. The game takes place in Santo Yeso, whatever, a city inspired by the American Southwest, and a CGI trailer showed its gritty desert roads, a Las Vegas-like district, and more. The story stars 3 main characters and your customizable protagonist as you build a criminal empire and take on 3 opposing factions inhabiting the city. So the same. I recognize and I give respect to Saints Row for what it tried to do. The games, it was certainly a GTA clone or ripoff at that point, but at least it realized that it couldn't directly compete with GTA, or if you wanted to compete directly with GTA, it had to be its own thing and it had to be its own identity. And they just decided to go with the crazy part. And you know what? I respect that. Never like super played them or anything like that because it was a little too crazy for what I was looking for. In retrospect, now I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll probably pay a remaster of it. It'll probably be a fun thing, but like I never got into into them because I did not care much for the original Saints Row game at all.
Yeah, that series was always way too sandbox for me.
It was yes, but it's not even that. Not even that was the problem. Because nowadays everything's a fucking sandbox. I mean, Horizon Zero, everything is a fucking anything that's open world. You could almost say it's a.
I feel like
fucking sandbox.
An open world to me, like okay, so Horizon Zero, yes, that's an open world. A lot of things to do. But you don't get lost into the minutia of weird things of that. It's not like you're sitting there, like there's an option for you to sit there with a couple people around the fire and play a game of, I don't know, future chess or whatever the fuck they play, or it's like all these weird things you can do.
Why should that matter if it's optional? If you don't have to do any of that shit.
Well, what I'm trying to say is because it didn't include it, everything was based around that open world and more based around its combat and story. Mm-hmm, in a sandbox, you can spend, like I would call, believe it or not, The Witcher 3 a sandbox because of fucking 80 hours I spent playing Gwents that had nothing to do with the main story. It's like this has nothing to do with nothing. The same thing with Red Dead, where I was playing poker for God knows how long, and then you have these other weird ass little things you can get lost in. That to me is a sandbox.
No, a sandbox to me will be like a No Man's Sky. Like, there is a path, but honestly, you can take whatever fucking path you want. There's not a direct. There's not necessarily a direct path. That's and if you want to continue the story, you can, and if not, just have at it. That's fine. That's a sandbox to me.
If an open world,
no, but I mean, because in an open world like Horizon Zero Dawn, you have you have missions. And you have missions after another mission. Like it doesn't just open up. I guess you could take the next the next camp, enemy camp if you like. But for the most part, it has a direction. In GTA, I'll give you a little bit of GTA that GTA could be considered a little bit, even though I don't fully agree with it. But I'm willing 100%. To. I'm willing.
You can get lost into that. You can start like fucking robbing people.
But
you can
go into, but you don't have to if you want to stick to the story.
No, I'm just saying. But the option's there. You can't having
the option that makes it bad.
No, not that it makes it bad. It simply makes it a sandbox game. Is what I'm saying. When you have you can start the game and go. I have 50 directions I can go in, and 2 of those are main story, and the rest of them have nothing to do with nothing. And not that that's bad because those games are fine. I mean, if that's the type of game you like. But that to me that's a sandbox where you can go anywhere and do anything. It doesn't matter. You can literally walk the world and do the weird things you can do.
Okay,
and never say.
Well, congratulations, you played Dark Souls, the biggest sandbox game there is.
No, because when you go there in Dark Souls, Yeah, well, yes,
can
you
go
can go
anywhere.
anywhere you want, but when you get there, you're only doing the same thing, and that's fighting, surviving. So there's only one option. There's only one thing to do. Is what I guess that's the difference. You have 50 directions, sure, but every one of those directions in Dark Souls, it's someone you have to beat. You know what I mean? And in the sandbox, it's 50 directions. And maybe again,
Some
two
of
of
them.
them are. One of them may be a mini game. One of them may just be a racing game. Maybe one of so you have all these weird things you can just spend time doing in that world that have nothing to do with nothing. Doesn't even push the storyline forward. It's just like you're just spending time to spend time. And GTA, yes, like it or not, does
I didn't
fall
play
in that
Gwent.
camp.
I didn't play Gwent on Witcher 3. And that didn't feel like a sandbox to me. It felt like an open world, just like any other.
Horse racing games. There were your
I wasn't
boxing
gonna do that
games. There were.
shit. I wasn't gonna do that
That's what I'm
shit.
saying. They were there though. The option was. That's why I say, as much I hate to say it, Witcher 3 can fall within the sandbox game, because they also had your hunts, right? They weren't part of the main storyline. You didn't need to do any of those hunts, but you want to make money, right? And they're always interesting.
The little game where not the little game, but the Minecraft is it's a sandbox. The freaking game where you make rockets and you put them together and you watch them fly. That's a sandbox. That is the quintessential definition of just throwing stuff throwing stuff on a sandbox and look.
I definitely agree with Minecraft, but Minecraft has its own like community, and there's a lot of things going on there as well. But no, you're talking about the Kerbal Space Program? No, that's not
that
a
is the
quintessence. No, it's not. You're just creating a spaceship and see if it takes off. All right. So let's try it again.
let's Wikipedia right now. Wikipedia. What's the name of it?
Space Program.
What's it called?
Kerbal Space Program.
Kerbal Space Program. All right. Well, let's see what because I need to know. So Kerbal Space Program is a space. Actually, it's a space flight simulator game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
My squad. There you go. I mean, it still plays like a Sam because you're building on a.
No, I will go with Minecraft. I will not go with Kerbal.
All right, and I'll take Minecraft then. Yeah, I'll take it. So anyway, the whole thing was to say that this is a perfect opportunity to jump into it, and hopefully you won't get as many things to do on a game, because God forbid a game has different ways for people to entertain themselves. Let's just have a linear story. So Mad Dog doesn't have to consider it.
I feel like I've said this, but I'm not saying
sandbox games.
I'm not saying the sandbox games are bad. I'm saying I don't give a shit about them. That's all I'm trying to say. It's like, hey, someone likes them clearly, because we're on part 5 of well, I guess it would be part 5 if they kept it numbered, but
is it so hard to stick to the story, like to the actual story? Like just ignore that shit. Like I certainly did not do any of this.
It's just shit. One of those things. It's not hard, but it becomes that box that needs to be checked. That's what it is. It becomes like, okay, so I'm here.
I think we identified the problem here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know it's me. I mean, clearly, people love these games. So it's like, obviously, I don't. It's like, I'm like, no, I'm all right with linear. Sometimes linear works. You know what I mean?
Linear works.
Linear gets me to where I need to go. You know what I mean? It sets the blinders and it just says, go this way. Okay, I'm going to go that way. Anyway,
give me options. Options are never bad.
Options are not bad. It's just the abundance of options. Give
me little options.
That's not bad either. For the record, that's not bad either. But it for someone like me, it can
become overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, and then you get a little anxiety, and it's like, oh god. Then the time thing, it's all connected.
It's all connected. Yeah.
So anyway, guess what, guys? We actually had a fucking games event this week. Games,
which I just realized is gonna kill like half of the stories that I marked. So
Are you serious? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you can delve. I'm just gonna what I have here is, hey, this is what was announced. You know what I mean?
oh,
And
that's
you can
cool.
pick and
go for
choose
it.
which ones you want to delve, because there's a few that I do want to talk more than just, hey,
Yeah.
this is here. The first one foremost, let's be real. Halo Infinite release date announced December 8th, 2021. Halo Infinite's campaign and multiplayer will be released. And it, of course, showed off some more, another trailer. And
A
I don't know how.
multiplayer trailer, if anything, because they didn't fucking show anything about the campaign or
Yeah.
this was a no show. On can we take a few minutes to talk about how disappointing this Xbox fucking
Oh, I don't
conference
even have it
was?
on list. That's how disappointing it was. I don't even acknowledging that
It
they
was.
had anything.
It was, yeah, it was those. What was expected, like what I would have thought that they were going to talk about more. I mean, this is the moment to start talking in full about Halo Infinite. No, they didn't give anything extra other than what they have already shown, and they say they have the reasons, and I marked it as a piece of news, and then I figured like, oh well, who
I know
cares?
what the
It's
reasons
like,
are. Just look at the release date. What does the release date tell you?
it's right around the corner. They're already cutting corners, and it looks like it's coming in very hot, which
It
is
is
always
very
very
hot.
worrisome.
Yes, because no one wants to release in December, and this is December 8th.
This is December 8th.
That is a huge red flag. Now, don't get me wrong, and I know I'm a PlayStation guy, and I am not trying to shade or anything like that, but guys, really, really think about it. That alone says, oh, we have to push this to the very, very last possible moment of this year. December 8th. No one releases. No major releases are done in December. Rarely.
Right.
I think the last major one was
already
fucking.
done your holiday shopping.
Correct. I think the last major one was fucking. And only because it was Sony. Fucking the one with the bird dog. I can't remember what the fucking name was. The Last Guardian. The Last Guardian was like in December for some reason. It's like, yeah, at that point they're just fucking dropping.
That's Sony not respecting what they have. It's like, oh, whatever. We're gonna get rid of this studio anyway.
So. At that point, they're like, who cares? Just throw it out. So when you look at that and you look at the major releases, right, for the holidays, and normally at latest November, that's the first red flag. And secondly, so many things are not going to be available at launch. That's another red flag. That means to say, so you guys didn't really go back to enhance the game. You guys went to fucking redo the game from the last time we saw it, when they were all up in arms with how
they have to. I mean, after that, they had no choice.
Yeah, but that just means that, again, it's a redo, not a revamp or not a tweak here. No, they are redoing it because now they're pushing it to the line. So I don't know, bro. I will. I'm not gonna say what I think, but these are red flags.
You should always say what you think, Mad Dog.
I know, but I'm just saying. I don't want to sound like a fucking Sony fanboy, because I'm not.
Fanboy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say, because I have my issues with fucking Sony at this moment, but overall, yeah, they're red flags. I agree.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to point that out because the rest of the show was pretty. Like there was not a lot of new announcement. Like, they show more Forza Horizon. It's like, okay, we already know about Forza Horizon 5, and the more I see about it, the less enthusiastic I get about this game. Don't get me wrong, I still want to get it. This was a game that I wouldn't have not cared if it was on Game Pass. I would have been like, nope, I want to own this game. I've owned them all, and I love this series. Now it's getting to the point where it's like, yeah, if it's gonna be, more of 4, then I think I'm okay sticking to Game Pass.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And again, things that we have already seen, and
I think we saw more at the opening night from Xbox, because they announced the Halo Infinite Xbox Elite wireless controller, and the limited edition Halo Infinite Xbox Series X, along with also showing a little bit more of like another trailer, a multiplayer trailer. Um, so I feel like we saw more there. So again, I don't even know what they were doing. I did not watch the Xbox One, and I had normally watched them all. But when your reaction to it after, you're like, dude, you didn't miss anything. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I watched
fucking nothing.
I watched the opening night one with Jeff Keighley, and I'm just going, well, they showed pretty much everything they need to here. I don't know what the point. I don't know the purpose of that.
What the point
was. Yeah.
What the point of having their own show was. Yeah.
They should have just left it as that. But well, anyway, let me just again continue to run. And by all means, sir, you can just say pause right when you hear something you want to get into. The next one I have is Elden Ring, first preview and new details.
Okay. Pause.
Pausing.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
No, Elden Ring. How much is? Honestly, I didn't catch anything that they would have shown, but my understanding is that they were not showing anything. Exactly. Okay,
these are all behind closed doors. They describe the new summoning mechanic that does not make the game easier, which is very Dark Souls, and how the in-game text is written, believe it or not, by Miyazaki, not George R.R. Martin. And of course, Elden Ring's lore will be discovered by interaction with important NPCs. So again, very Dark Souls.
So what is so in other words, the whole thing with George R.R. Martin was just like nothing. Like
no, he wrote the what they consider the Bible, the lore.
Okay, so the lore,
the existing lore is what he did, and then the storyline that you see in the game is written by Miyazaki, but based on that lore that was created by Origin.
Miyazaki he's responsible for the lore of Dark Souls 1 and 3. Am I right?
Correct. Okay. Yep. The next one is Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is a new strategy game from Firaxis Games that looks to be a superpowered version of XCOM franchise. This game's coming out on March, set to release March 2022, with their first gameplay to be revealed September 1st. I saw this trailer. It's just a cinematic trailer. There's nothing actually, no gameplay. And I was like, okay, there's some characters you recognize. You'll see Blade, you'll see Iron Man, you'll see Wolverine. So it's got a mix. I was not excited until the moment I saw Firaxis' name at the end of the trailer. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Is this like XCOM? And suddenly my excitement went up. I was like,
oh, yeah.
All right. I think I'm down with this. So I'm excited to see the gameplay, which is going to be revealed on the 1st. But it looks. Well, I mean, again, it's just a fucking cinematic trailer, so who knows? It looks good because it's a fucking cinematic trailer. Anyway, Saints Row reboot you've already mentioned comes out February 25th, 2022. Then we have Horizon Forbidden West, which has a 2022 release date, February 18th, 2022. Let's see. We got an extended look at Call of Duty Vanguard. Their campaign has been revealed. I'm going to pause here real quick to say, also, there was some talk. First off, the game looks good. I'm not going to buy it. Doesn't matter anyway. I will say it's amazing how I saw nothing saying Activision, for the record. Just FYI. It's just, I had to look. Let me just see if it, no, nothing at all. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway. I don't
think they want to be. I don't think they're.
I know what they're doing
at this moment. Yeah, at this moment, they're not really into flaunting that logo.
Yeah, I agree, and that's smart. Believe it or not.
The less they know, the better. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Same thing's gonna happen to Diablo. I bet
I'm sure. You're probably right. Yeah. They showed off a little bit of the campaign, starring character Paulina, and it looked pretty good. It looked actually really, really good. But again.
Was it gameplay?
I didn't see. It was gameplay. It was gameplay. Shit. Yeah,
okay.
Fucking campaign gameplay. It looked good, but I just paused to say, look good, looks interesting. Looks very vignette-like from Battlefield 1. So I'm wondering if they're biting off a little bit from there. Oh. But it looks really, really good. Anyway. Deathloop, the final preview, because the game comes out on September 14th. This is a PlayStation 5 and PC exclusive. And we're able to get, this is IGN was able to get a bunch of gameplay to play, and it looks good so far. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga got a new trailer, and a spring 2022 release date. It just says spring 2022.
Those games are done already. So what the hell are they? What is taking them so long?
I have no idea. I mean, we all know. They're just they're rewriting stuff because they got to make sure they keep the fans. And
that's right. Yeah.
That is. Death Stranding Director's Cut showed off some new items, features, and missions, including a jetpack. Believe it or not, and it will be released September 24th. I saw that whole thing and I was just like, "This is ridiculous. I don't need all this," and yet I kind of want to go back. But
there's a lot of like, oh, this is pointless, or this is just gonna trivialize some gameplay elements. But goddamn, if I didn't want to go back,
I know, it's like son of a bitch, fucking Kojima. Anyway,
only you, Kojima.
Yeah, only for you. By the way, he closed out the show with this, which was weird because I was like,
oh,
we already saw this. Why? Well, we didn't see this, but we already knew about this. Not like a one more thing. Yeah,
giant reveal. Well, maybe compared to the rest that was actually shown, it's like
maybe. Yeah.
Also, they're really buddies.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. They're hot for each other. But anyway, Forza Horizon 5, which you already mentioned, so we'll skip that. Metroid Dread had another trailer shown off, and it still looks pretty cool, and I'm still interested in that. Giants Uprising, a cinematic trailer, has taken the internet by storm with its impressive visuals and action. In the game, you are a giant who has been newly freed from enslavement at the hands of human. Your goal is to get revenge on those who wronged you. A demo is currently available on Steam, and the game will enter early access in November.
What is this game called again?
Giants Uprising.
Let me search for it because I need to see this thing. Giants Uprising. That sounds. I mean,
it's coming out November 2nd. It was entering early access now. It's already now.
Free demo, and that looks very legit. Holy shit! Look at that. Oh yeah, you are definitely Andre the Giant, and you are like destroying the.
It's a cinematic trailer, so it's not really showing any gameplay, so we don't know what we're getting.
I'm looking at gameplay right now, sir.
Okay.
If you open your Steam and you go to the store page, somebody's playing. Somebody, I guess, it's showing gameplay, and there's just like giant, just like lumbering and punching like cottages and destroying them.
Damn.
And the destruction looks it looks really good.
Okay.
This whole thing looks really good. I'm gonna have to download this and
give it a shot.
Report later.
Okay. Nice.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Here we go. Download. Oh shit!
Okay,
I probably don't want to do that now because then if I mess up, it might mess up your
bandwidth.
Connection.
Okay.
Yes.
Dying Light 2 got a new gameplay trailer, and it still looks pretty cool. And according to the Techland, will contain over 100 hours of gameplays for single playthrough.
Oh, that's too much for you.
That is way too fun. You now have lost me, Techland. Good job. Anyway,
that I will definitely call a sandbox.
Jet the Far Shore showed off their World of Exploration coming out on October 5th. It looked pretty decent. Xbox Cloud Gaming coming to Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One in holiday 2021. Very interesting. April O'Neil is a playable character in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. What? Sorry. A little bit. Amazon New World open beta was announced. Post-launch plans tease as well. MMO beta will launch on September 9th through the 12th, ahead of its September 28th release date. Ghost Runner gets a wave mode, an assist mode, and new DLC. And this, of course, also gets a release date. These will arrive officially on the 31st, which is Tuesday, alongside a pack of neon-themed cosmetics, because God knows you can see your ninja in that movie, in that game, ninja.
I know, right?
Anyway, Solstice developers.
It's for the other players, for the other players.
I would assume so, or the reflective services, whatever. Soltis
for the ray tracing
is to show off the ray tracing. Like, look how cool I look on that wall over there.
on that mirror.
Soltis is a hack and slash adventure game featuring Superhuman and her ghost sister, and looks all right. Blasphemous sequel coming in 2023. Dear Lord, that's not even a freaking ray tracing game. A new DLC has also been revealed. This is the dark action platformer. Blasphemous is not only getting a story concluding updates in Wounds of Eventide later this year, but is also getting a full-fledged sequel. So there's actually some DLC that I need to get back to. Small Soldiers inspired shooter called Hypercharge Unbox getting a campaign mode. Let's see, we're kind of flying through a lot of little things that I don't care, and I think we've reached the end. How about that?
How about that? No, there you go. There you go. I mean, you have pretty much taken all of the stories that I could have actually talked about that I marked separate. But that's good because I preferred to have them all concise. So let it not be said that Mad Dog didn't give you a heaping helping of news today.
This is true
because he's there. He left me the scraps, of course. So I mean, just listen to this. Just check this out. Who wants to hear about Dr. Disrespect?
Oh.
Well, you have no choice because that's the only thing I have left.
That's all we have going.
If I can scrape something else, I'll let you know.
That's awesome.
Guy, Dr. Disrespect, BM, said Tuesday that he will sue Twitch after the Amazon-owned streaming platform banned him last year. Dot Esports reported Monday that the streamer discussed the ban during a YouTube stream that day, where he revealed that he now does know the reason why he was banned, and that because of it, his team is, quote, suing the fuck out of them, end quote. That's a legal term.
I think so.
The quote says, "I've known for months now the reason why," BM said during the stream, "and I'll just say this right now, champs. There's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of them. I don't know how else to put it," end quote. How about telling us a little bit of what the fuck is it that they're accusing you of?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure due to legal reasons he can't.
That's true. Yeah, that's probably that's probably the case.
But it will come out. We'll know. Obviously,
no, definitely.
public. Yeah.
We will know. This is gonna bring. I mean, if he decides to go for it, I mean, it is what it is. BM received his second and permanent ban in June 2020, despite having an exclusive streaming agreement with Twitch. BM's first ban occurred in June 2019 after he streamed live inside a bathroom at E3. 4 months now, following the permanent ban, BM said he didn't know why he was banned, and Twitch remained quiet too. However, the streamer didn't reveal the reasons during Monday's stream. Polygon reached out. This was Polygon's report. So Polygon reached out to BM for more information, and I guess that's right now they haven't heard anything. And of course, Twitch declined to comment. BM returned to, or Dr. Disrespect, returned to streaming on YouTube, which his Dr. Disrespect character on in August of 2020. During that stream, he said that the team has no idea why he was banned from Twitch. As far as I'm, and the quote continues, as far as I'm concerned, we didn't do anything to warrant a ban, let alone how they went about banning us, end quote, he said. No communication before, no reaching out, nothing, end quote. During Monday's stream, BM claimed he makes on YouTube a quarter of what he was making by streaming on Twitch. He says the ban also impacts his networking opportunities too, through blacklisting and shadow banning. Twitch said in August that it will improve its ban notifications sent to suspend streamers by offering a data violation and a name of the content. Well, no fucking shit, Twitch. I mean, Dr. Disrespect might not be.
Give him that, yeah.
It might not be my favorite character or anything like that, but there's obvious that you did him wrong here. Now, I don't know what he's accused. It could be something horrible. Like, who knows? We don't know anything. It could be something horrible. I just started a rumor. It could be absolutely something trivial, and maybe Amazon didn't like the accord or the contract they signed, and they're looking for a way to get out of it and chose this way. Like, who knows? We know that Dr. Disrespect feels very strongly about having a case against them.
It probably does.
Let's see what happens.
It's one of those things where you have a contract with someone, because there are contracts being brought up in the background with Dr. Disrespect, and I'm sure there's something within those that he violated, but he should be told. I mean,
that's the thing. That's where it falls apart. That's where Twitch fucks up. It's like,
hey, this is the terms and conditions that we have, and this is the specific term and or condition that you violated, and that's the reason why. Now, if they didn't tell him that, I mean, who knows? They could have told him that. He could be full of shit and say they didn't tell him anything. So we don't know.
Remember, they're not. We're not saying that it was illegal for Twitch not to notify the reason. I mean, it's their fucking platform. They can do whatever they want. It's a private platform. They can do whatever they want. So,
but if there's contracts build up, there's still some.
There should be some transparency.
And there's still some responsibility of the contract holder to advise. That what I'm saying. This is just normal business. You know what I mean? It's like, if we have a contract together, then now, if the contract doesn't include that, that's one thing. But at the same time, it's like, well, that could be that Twitch is not, their contracts are crap, and they need to be in. You need this lawsuit so it can force their hand to fucking fix their contract. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't know where the angle's coming from. Because the reality is, no one sued Twitch. Why? Because, well, we don't really know what the rules are.
They probably have a clause that said, They clearly state, hey, we can cancel you for whatever reason we deem necessary without having to notify you, and that's that, if that's the case. But
not necessarily. I mean, it's that for that particular case. But if this particular case, it all depends on how it gets tried, right? Because if it gets tried well enough, they can say, yeah, he did have that contract, but that contract was in violation of whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, it shouldn't have been a contract. It needs to be corrected. And if Twitch loses, Twitch may have to go in and start adjusting their contract so that they don't run into this lawsuit again, because it only takes one person to win something for them to go, all right, all these other guys you got banned, guess what they're gonna fucking do? You know what I mean? So,
and think about the fact that, so if there was a reason, I mean, obviously there must have been a reason, but if there would have been a legitimate reason, why not tell him? We're not asking for it to be disclosed in public. It could be something very private. It could be because of the serious or the legals or whatever, but fucking tell him. You have a contract with, you made a contract with him. Keeping him in silence, this is what's going to happen. This was the normal outcome of it at the end of it all. It's like, he's gonna find out, somehow, or they're gonna finally let him know or whatever. And after all the damage to his brand and his image and whatever, he's gonna sue like he says, the fuck out of you. And honestly, again, I'm not pro disrespect in any ways whatsoever. But Twitch asked for it. That they deserve it. They deserve to pay if that's if they're gonna, and they're realizing now, and that's probably the reason why they're saying, we're actually gonna notify, we're gonna notify you if we ban you for some reason. Well, no shit. How am I supposed to know that I did something against the terms of service if you don't tell me? Now, granted, it is. I need to read the terms of service if I'm going to stream. That's my responsibility. They are there. If I decide not to read it, that's on me, and then I could get fucked for whatever. But I'm pretty sure that the moment he got that he got banned, and he couldn't realize why, I bet he had some people look at it, help him look at it. It's like, hey, do you see anything from here that looks like something that I could possibly have done? That could possibly be the reason, and have a communication, man. Just communicate with your, with your streamers. Don't wait until this moment where now he's about to set a precedent, which
possibly,
which could actually make it more difficult for you. it's like you ask.
That's the deal. That's what they, with these companies. It's like you have to sometimes paint them in the corner so they can make a change. And normally, it's a lawsuit that'll do that.
Yeah, it's a legal matter. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Activision says hello. Anyway, my last piece. Guess what? Xbox games with Gold for September have been announced.
What?
Yes.
Lay it on me.
Has not said anything yet about their September games. So
no, I heard some ruminations, but I didn't mark it because it sounds like, well, until it's official, I'm not gonna put. Yeah,
exactly. These are official though. Microsoft has announced their games for games with Gold for September. And of course, we're going to start off with Warhammer Chaos Bane. Will be available on Games with Gold from September 1st to the 30th. This is, of course, an action RPG. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Zone of the Enders HD Collection will be coming to the Xbox 360 and, of course, backwards compatibility. Let me see that. Mulaka will be available from September 16th through October 15th and is an action.
Sorry,
and is an action adventure game that is based on the indigenous culture of the Tarahumara people of Mexico. And then finally, Samurai Showdown 2, which is another Xbox 360 backwards compatible title, will join Games with Gold from September 16th through the 30th. And those are your games with Gold, sir.
That's what you're getting. It's a good thing you have Game Pass, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you better have Game Pass because
because you're not getting any other way,
Yeah, honestly, that's like their thing. Anyone complains about games with Gold? Why do you have Game Pass? It's like 5-6 newly released games there right now. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't have Game Pass, I can't. Yeah, we can't even.
We're not gonna back you up on this one.
No, I can't even. I'm sorry, you paying for the wrong service, motherfucker. That's what that is. Anyway, is there anything else?
I have one more. So Blizzard will rename Overwatch McCree and made a lawsuit. The lawsuit Fallout. McCree being the cowboy. Well, I'll tell you. Overwatch fan favorite cowboy character Jesse McCree will be renamed. Blizzard has announced following the departure of the real life Jesse McCree from the developer. Blizzard's veteran of the same name left earlier this month in the wake of California's lawsuit, which alleges sexual harassment and a frat boy culture at the company. Although no specific reasons was given for his exit. The real-life McCree was one of several men apparently pictured posing together on a bed with a photo of disgraced U.S. comedian Bill Cosby. The disturbing picture allegedly showed the interior of the, quote, Cosby suit, end quote, a hotel room used at BlizzCon for partying. McCree was also one of the developers whose name appeared in alleged screenshots showing text conversation between Blizzard staff concerning the Cosby suite, which includes suggestion from a former World of Warcraft designer, Alex Avrasavi, about women brought back to the room.
Wow.
Afrasiabi. I feel like I've been pronouncing this name wrong all the time, and I wanted to see if I could get it right, and I probably didn't, but who gives a shit? Thank you. Was kicked out of Blizzard last year after an internal investigation concerning his behavior. Earlier this month, Blizzard admitted his departure had been due to misconduct in his treatment of other employees, end quote. And said a World of Warcraft character based on him will be removed from the game along with accompanying content. A message from the Overwatch team was posted to the game's official Twitter last night and included information that it was changing its policies so that no further in-game characters will be named after employees. Probably a good idea to enforce. Additionally, so se jodió Leroy Jenkins. Additionally, Blizzard today told the Washington Post via Kotaku that references to other former Blizzard employees involved in the alleged Cosby suite picture will also be scrubbed from its game. This includes nods to a former Diablo 4 game director, Luis Barriga, and former World of Warcraft designer Jonathan LeCraft. And there is a full Blizzard statement. I don't know if you want me to read it.
I mean, how long is it? It's the highlights, maybe.
It's kind of long.
Oh,
well,
okay.
there you go. That's
Just post it in the group.
that's the highlights. The bottom line is they're gonna rename the character of Jesse McCree because the Jesse McCree, his involvement basically. The shakeup continues at Blizzard. I don't know what's gonna happen out there. Probably not much after this. Let's be real. I feel like this is the news of the 2020 to 2021 to be forgotten 2022. Sadly,
I don't know. I feel like
I hope not. I certainly hope not. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I feel like it's a hot topic. For sure,
yeah.
For the future, but I feel like that's the common thought, like, oh, this is just going to get swept under the rug. They're going to make some sort of whatever. It looks like they're fighting. So it looks like, they're on the verge of actually going through what they call discovery, which is not good for Activision for the record. So that can definitely lead to some shit if that's what they ended up doing, if that's where they end up going. I remember hearing regarding the discovery of someone else who was being sued, maybe Epic Games, something like that, and suddenly, it was Apple or something like that was being sued, and suddenly through discovery, you have to now give all your emails and all this stuff. And then that's when they found out they had some sort of weird deal that fell through with Sony, and it was like some crazy shit. They obviously never wanted to come to life because nothing was going to happen anyway. But it's like that's what happens when you go through discovery. It's like all your dirty little secrets will get aired out. You know what I mean? So I feel like Activision probably, I don't know what would have been the right choice. Of settling or just fighting it out, and it seems like they maybe want to fight it out, and I don't think that's the right choice. I think you guys are screwed. I don't know if you still listen to that particular podcast I sent you, but you really should, because there's no support on either. It doesn't support either side, but it's just you understand how law works, and it's like, well, a good lawyer can figure out, these things occurred, but they occurred a while ago. What did Activision do since then to address these things? And if they did and they addressed them, then are they liable for one or two or three idiots who have already been either fired or, you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things. Are they actually liable for it?
Or
if they
things
did
that might have passed them. Yeah.
And so, not to say that Activision did, because I have no fucking clue. I'm just saying those are the defenses that come from Activision, because if they're smart enough, because there's a lot of people who are saying, we're not being hired because we're women and stuff like that. But if, as in any job, you have your reasons that you want to hire someone, and you're going to have those things documented. And if they're documented, then it becomes difficult to prove, well, this person did do better in this, and that's why they went with this person. You know what I mean? Because you should have that documented. So unless Activision's a fucking completely shit company and didn't do all that stuff because they didn't need to, which is possible, you know what I mean?
Which is possible.
Yeah, but then they deserve this. It's like, well, now they're fucked. But anyway, my point is to say there's a lot of angles, and I'm curious to see what ends up happening. It's going to be really fascinating to me. Anyway, I feel it's going to be fascinating what occurs here. Because there's a lot. There's a lot in that thing. There's a lot in that suit.
There's still more. Yeah, indeed. That's all I got, sir.
Awesome. So all right, guys. I'm going to take a quick break here, and we're going to be right back with our hot topic. And with that, guys, we are back, and it is now time for our hot topic.
Hot topic!
Hot topic, guys, again, which I have actually not posted to the group, but you'll figure out eventually.
Yeah, we said it. If you guys didn't listen to it
last week, yeah.
You.
It should be a surprise at this point. Is, of course, part 2 of our updating the gaming lingo. And we have a few new terms. What the fuck is that? A few new terms that
Pokemon?
Mewtwo. Very true. Maybe it's just Mew. Right, because Mewtwo was the next one. But anyway, we have a few new terms.
I don't know a Pokemon.
You don't know a Pokemon?
I don't know Pokemon.
Yes, you do. Stop acting like you don't know.
Honestly, no. I was never. You know that when people were. Well, actually, you do because you guys were all part of it, and I was left out. When you all collecting Pokemons in with the Pokemon Go, like I was the only one resistant. Like, nope.
You're like,
nope.
I
don't like Pokemon.
You've never seen me there.
I don't like Pokemon. I was always so I know one that looks like a trash bag. Another one,
Trubbish.
Yes, I know Pikachu. Exactly, Trubbish. There you go. It's by the name. It sounds like rubbish.
Yeah.
And trash.
Point, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. I get it.
Got it now.
There you go. Oh, that's what
it all came together.
Pikachu. It looks like a chew. No, I don't know. So yeah. So I if I mention a name here or there, it might be because I heard it on some sort of Pokemon spoof. I know Charizard.
Yeah, I mean Charizard is awesome. He's the wait, Charizard?
He's the one with the tail on fire.
Yeah. Oh, that's Charizard. So Charmander is the big one. Okay.
Oh, Charmander. Oh, you see what I'm talking about? It's like there's
no,
too many.
Charmander's a smart one, and Charizard is the big one that looks like a fucking dragon. Like when he's evolved.
Oh, when he's evolved, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. It shows you how much I know.
I guess that's true.
Missing no. I know that one. That's a glitch.
Yeah, that's true.
Amazing, no.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and add a few more of the gaming lingo to either retire, correct, or it needs to stay because it's
we're gonna
for itself. Yeah.
Marry, fuck, or kill it, depending on
wow. Yeah. So in that case, it stays. So I guess it's married. I'm gonna add this one.
I had the perfect segue. You took it away from me.
Sorry. No, go ahead now. Because everybody hears. So
I was gonna say, speaking about fucking, grinding.
Oh, yes.
It's a term actually, and it doesn't have sexual connotations in games. Or who knows? Maybe you're playing,
depending on the game, right?
You could be playing House Party for I don't know. But grinding was one that, believe it or not, it was. I mean, I've known it for ages, but it was not one that I would consider like old school, even though it really is. Because the first time I heard it, I think I was playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, this will go back. This is back in the early '90s. I remember hearing that shit.
Yeah, well, no. See, I didn't. I heard it for the first time when I played World of Warcraft, and I heard it applied to regular games years later, and it has to do with some say it has to do with playing long hours of a game. I don't think it's as simple as that. To me, grinding has like a very specific like a very specific objective, which is to level up, exactly, to progress, to continue getting stronger and stronger. And I did not have this other one on the list, but I'll just throw it in real quick. Farming was another one that always struck me as odd.
That's another. That's actually pretty much the same thing. No, I mean,
well, no, because you could be because you're grinding to level yourself up, but you're farming specific items or materials or currency or exactly, stuff like that. So, and farming became a problem in World of Warcraft.
I would still say that's connected though. I mean, because even when you're grinding, you're still like so I think of Final Fantasy 7, the original. And when I was quote unquote grinding, I guess I had a fucking ring on or some shit like that was doubling the money. But like I was always grinding with the fucking cactar, on that weird little island. It's like it's by itself, but it was like the one at that point that was giving me the most experience. And then you would do the double XP fucking ring, or a materia, and the double whatever. So I was always doing it for something. But yeah, I guess this is.
I mean, you could definitely farm and grind.
Let me have the stamina for it.
And grind if you feel. Now, so you can do both if you want. But usually you have one objective or the other. Either you are farming, because you can also be farming without grinding, because you're not progressing, because you're killing low level characters. You just need whatever is it that they're dropping. Mm-hmm. So in that case, you are hella farming, but you're not grinding because you're not getting any powerful. So that's why I think there is a distinction between the two. But you're right; they kind of go very close, hand in hand. Almost. So I wanted to mention both
old school JRPGs. Yeah, I agree. That's actually good. Yeah, good that we mentioned them both, because they do go hand in hand. I think. So what do you think? Think we need to retire these, or maybe name them something maybe less sexual?
I like him as they are. Actually, believe it or not, because even though. Like specifically farming sounded so abstract. Like the first time I heard it, it was like, what? It makes sense what you're trying, what in context, in farming, when you're tending a farm, you are, sowing seeds and watch stuff grow and reaping from there. And in this case, like the first time I heard it was around the time of World of Warcraft, when you had the gold farmers, the famous gold farmers, or the infamous gold farmers that will, farm out a bunch of money. Like they will actually hire people to play the game for 24, and have shift of people, so that one character will be active 24 hours a day, just collecting gold. It doesn't matter what you were doing in the game, just collect gold was the main thing, because the idea was that they will then sell you that gold for real money. Mm-hmm. And back in the days of classic World of Warcraft, where having a couple of golds was like, holy shit, you have been playing for a while now. Now this shit is like given to, like, you could get 100 gold for doing nothing. But back in the day, having a couple gold, because inflation, I guess. But nowadays, having a couple gold, it was like, holy shit, man. So having someone sell you 100 gold pieces for $100 maybe, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the gold WoW gold to USD ratio was, what the conversion rate was, but that's what you had. You had a lot of company, a lot of people, mostly stationed in China and Asian countries, just farming gold. and wow. I hated that term at first, because I immediately associated with it with people ruining the economy of the game. But now in context, it's like, it makes sense. Like, oh, I need to farm Titanite shards to level up my weapon. I should go to this area in Dark Souls, and
very familiar for sure.
Yes. Titanite
shards.
Shards.
So I guess we're keeping grinding, because we'll keep farming as well, because farming is very relaxing, in many ways.
Farming can be, that's another thing. Grinding can get, you could get in the zone with grinding. Also. I don't find it very fun to do. But also I kind of like progression. So as long as, if I see my character growing, I don't mind it too much. But I'm not going to sit down for hours doing the same thing, just to, because that shit gets boring. And That's how, like, Chaos is almost a fan of grinding on games, and I'm like, I can't do that, bro.
He also but he plays often enough to where he can spend a few hours just grinding and then move on to another game and do something else.
Right.
Here's a term that I did not know until today, and that is, of course, the term called ads, which is a term that refers to additional enemies that typically appear during boss encounters. You often have to balance taking care of said ads and doing damage to the boss. Actually, you just had a boss, if I'm not mistaken, a little tree with a bunch of little nuts.
A lot of yes. Aside from the nuts, which were ads enough.
They sure were.
on that one, you also have to deal with those
farmers.
Was already there. So usually ads, it's like they will spawn. Well, actually, no, that's true. They did spawn. Yeah, they did spawn. There was more, at least. There were a few, but once you dealt with them, you thought you were by yourself, but no, more will spawn. So yes, those will be ads. That's
they're dropping from the side walls or something. From the side walls. I learned that the hard way. I was like, where the fuck are these guys coming from? And it's like,
I thought I killed them all.
Yeah, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. So on an MMO or not necessarily, it could be a game like Destiny or anything like that. You will get someone giving you the instructions of take care of the ads. That means you should actually focus your attention on killing out any enemies that either appear or the main or the main boss summons or whatever. The thing is, someone needs to be doing damage to that main boss constantly, and they can't be bothered with dealing with additional enemies. So it'll fall onto you to take care of those enemies. And I really, a game that I actually really enjoyed handling that dynamic was actually Destiny. When I played Destiny 2, when I did that one raid that I did that one time that I've ever did a raid in Destiny, I was actually enjoying the fact that it was not just mindlessly shoot at this character. It was no, you had to take care of position, and you had to take care of, hey, when someone says ads, that means so additional enemies appear, handle those, because whoever's dealing damage can be interrupted. So that's actually and it doesn't need to be any more complex than that. I think ads makes perfect sense
as long as you say it correctly, the instructions correctly. Yeah, makes sense. It's just something I haven't heard. I guess I don't do a lot of multiplayer, so I
you don't
in that circle. So
no, you don't tend to play a lot of those type of games.
Okay. Fair enough.
But so here's one that I actually learned semi-recent, let's say 6th gen or the 7th gen even, specifically with a particular game, Bulletstorm. Actually, it's the first time I heard the term bullet sponge.
Yes,
I hate bullet sponging on enemies so much,
as do I, because
it feels very unrealistic, and it takes away from having strong weapons that you're shooting the enemy again. If you're shooting an enemy, like, I can understand an enemy that looks like it has like thick armor, but even with the thick armor, they should be giving you some sort of feedback that, hey, this bullet hurt anyway.
That creates some sort of impact.
Exactly. A bullet sponge, it will be, and this is unfortunately division that because of the type of game it is, this is a game that is riddled with that shit. Is you are emptying clips or magazines on enemies and of riddling with bullets, and they don't go down. They just have sometimes they have a life bar or 2 or 3, and you have to take them down. And I'm like, motherfucker, these are bullets. At the very least, pretend that you're either dodging them or that or that they knock you down a little bit, or give me some sort of feedback. Don't just be soaking them up like if it was nothing, because then what the hell am I firing you with? Like pellets? It takes away from the realism of a game. And I'm surprised that I like playing The Division so much when that game is like bullet spawn alpha. Like they haven't figured out, and I don't think a lot of developers have figured out how to deal with that shit. With at least, like, I understand enemies need to be hard, obviously, because you don't want enemies where you just one shot. Because at that point, either you also it can be easily one shot, or you're just gonna make the game super easy. But I don't think there has been a way has been figured out to make enemy look like they are, like your weapons are making an impact on an enemy, but yet make it look realistic enough to where it also don't look like the enemy's getting hit until they actually get hit by the proverbial bullet that will kill them for real. I don't know how they will handle that, because
the one thing I guess this is, I mean, yes, we're probably going to hear this and go like, oh, this is the Sony guy in him or whatever. But I think of this game when I think of bullet sponges, because again, I don't play a lot of multiplayer games, but they existed, and that is, of course, Uncharted 2.
Oh, yes.
You had but here the deal is, I think they handled it kind of okay, because you had a lot of armored guys who were bullet sponges, because it's like they had 150 poise, because they were never moving back. But you can see the armor like stripping away from them so that was okay, because it's like, okay, I get it, they're armored and that's why they're still coming at me, but at least I can see something is happening to them, and once you get to the lowest level of their armor, then you're there. Also, when you get close to them, there was ways of you know what I mean. So yeah, that's the only comparison I really have, because again, I don't play. I play Division with you, but I haven't done the after game stuff, which I know is completely stuff, which I know is completely different from the main game. And the main game, I was like, oh, I don't see the bullet sponges here, but I know that they exist in the end game. So
yeah, and it's, I mean, it kind of depends on if you need to have bullet sponge enemies because of the type of game, then make them so that it looks. First of all, it should never be. It should never give the impression that these bullets aren't doing any damage whatsoever, unless you are presented with a bot or with a character that looks so powerful that yes, you wanna give that impression that if you hit him anywhere else other than the shiny red part, where it usually is.
Yeah, but I've always been the mind that if my weapon is doing no damage to you because you're not even stopping, then I shouldn't be winning. Like, there should be no way for me to win. You know, it has to have some sort of effect on you for that victory to make sense eventually. And I remember early Turok. You remember Turok?
Turok, yeah.
Turok. They had these really, really bad. They weren't bullet sponges, but they just didn't react to being hit. And sometimes they did, sometimes it was like weird. It was like you had to get them down to a certain health in order for the reaction to occur. But Turok 2, they addressed that shit, dude. Turok 2 is still one of my favorites, and you see the you hit him on the shoulder and the shoulder backs up. You know, you're like, oh shit, because you caught him on the shoulder. You know,
yeah.
And it doesn't take away from them being powerful. It just stuns them that one little moment. And if a game can do that, you know what I mean? Obviously, we're talking a game that obviously has to be something a little more powerful than a human, because a human getting shot in the shoulder, I don't care how fucking big you are, you're fucking falling to the floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's any of those games that you know, Destiny, for instance, something like that. It's like, okay, if you get that reaction from them, they don't have to, it can be fast. It could just be fast as they're running. You know what I'm saying? There's just a shift in their run and maybe stumble a little bit. But that's the shit I look forward to in future gaming. You know what I mean? It's like those little nuances that happen in battle where it's like, so it's a powerful enemy, but I nicked him and I saw the effect on him, and it's where I see the new Dark Souls eventually, hopefully. Or it doesn't have to be Dark Souls, but a similar type of game where it's like, you can see the injury happen. Anyway, I'm going off a tangent here. I'm sorry. My next term here is pretty funny because it includes a squishy ball mostly, and that of course is Nerf. Nerfing and actually buffing. We can actually throw them both in here as well. Buffing and nerfing. For anybody who is completely oblivious to what these terms are outside of the sports of being outside and playing ball outside with a Nerf. In gaming, Nerf guns. Nerf guns are great, man. Well, they also the Nerf footballs and stuff like that. But anyway, a buff refers to a change that makes the character more powerful in some way. Generally, think of something like haste in an RPG or.
Oh my god! Did you just conjure up that?
I couldn't think of anything else. It just literally is the only thing that came to mind.
PlayStation 3, I think it's exclusive, right? Not necessarily made by Sony, or was it? I don't remember. But that's how forgettable this game was. Like completely out of left field. He brings fucking haze.
No, not haze. Not haze. The game haste. Haste.
Haste.
The spell in most JRPGs.
Which
would be a buff.
That yellow shit that you can inject yourself, and that was a buff. So.
That is true. That is very true. Haze was a buff. That's right. I never played Haze, so that's why I would never know about that.
I was like, did he just say Haze?
It's
Haze. Yes.
I should have just left it happening because the reality is the truth is that's a
works
buff.
too. Yeah, that is a buff. Yeah, I forgot. Sure. What the fuck was it? Nectar. I think is what they call it.
Nectar. Yep.
Nectar.
And of course, the opposite of that would be a nerf, which is a change that reduces the your character or opposing character's power. And so, obviously, this is it's done in many ways. It can be done within a game itself. When you're in battle. When you unleash some sort of area, some effect or something like that can obviously reduce stuff. And of course, it's also done by developers when they, particularly in fighting games or in not arena shooter, but hero shooters and stuff like that. Particularly when you have somebody who's introduced into the game, a new character of some sort. I'm thinking of like, oh my god, what is that game these guys play right now? I can't even think of it.
The one that we were playing?
No,
not
the spin-off of Titan Souls. The spin-off of not Titan Souls, Titanfall. Oh my god.
Apex Legends.
Apex Legend. When they introduce a new character, Apex Legend, obviously
Titan Souls should be a game if it isn't one already.
Titan Souls is a game. Do you remember that one?
No.
Oh my god, really? Titan Souls? It is isometric. It's an isometric boss battle game, and you're just fighting bosses, and all you have is one arrow.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Yeah. That's available on Steam here. Yeah, $14.99. Titan Souls.
But anyway, buff and nerfing happens developer side when they introduce normally a new character, and now you kind of have to adjust things because this new character can either be completely exposed, by another character, or they can be completely overpowering a specific character on the field. And so the developers will go in and either nerf one side or buff another side. So many different uses for this term. They're pretty funny, I guess. Nerf. It's funny because when you think of nerf, I really think that's why the term came up.
No, that's definitely that. It's
nerf
it comes
football,
from nerfing. Yeah. It's because it used to be or at least the way I understanding is, it used to be used a lot more in terms of first person shooters.
For
And
balancing.
when you were making, to rebalance guns, and when you were making guns less powerful, you were nerfing them because nerf guns. Yeah. So, but then it got applied to every time you're just like adjusting the stats of a character. Most time, often enough, done by developers, of course, on their game when they're like rebalancing whatnot, and you're bringing your a seemingly powerful attack, maybe, or offensive skill. It gets taken down a little bit. It gets taken back a little bit. That's when they nerf it.
Yeah.
The
I think nerfing is still funny to me as far as I'm concerned, because I used to have like Nerf footballs back in the day.
Nerf
So
football.
when you hear about something being nerfed, that's the first thing you think of. Oh, so you're making it a squishy, whatever it is. You're
yeah,
making-
kind of.
yeah. And
Kind of.
that's really, that's what it is.
Or you're turning my gun into a toy. So
Which is
you are
funny because
nerfing.
Nerf, the actual brand Nerf, is actually having a game release, which is like
Oh, they
almost
have had
FPS.
games. Yeah.
Oh,
they have
really? They had more?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In the
I
past,
saw one
many
recently.
times.
Okay. I saw one recently. I was like, this is odd that Nerf would have this, like, okay, well.
This goes back to the days of all the way back to Doom, where they had a game on that engine that it was Nerf. It was supposed to be the family friendly version of a first person shooter. You don't want to be killing people in first person. God forbid, you kill pixels on a game. My next piece, my next term, I guess, is one that should be relatively familiar for most gamers, though new gamers might find it unknown, and that is the terms PvP or PvE. And that, I feel like there is that could be also like a group, like a character group that you might fall into. Like if you like games where you do player versus player, you're playing a PvP character. If you're not interested on competing against other players, and you just or you're interested in the cooperative endeavor of playing with other people, but not against each other, but all together toward against the NPCs or the mobs. Ooh, mobs is a good one.
That is
Then you play PvE, and or you're a pacifist or a pussy. I shouldn't say, because I'm the thing is, I don't consider myself a skilled player. I play games. I love playing games or stuff like that, but skilled player, that would be people like Chaos and fucking Dark will be he's my god tier skill player. You're more like a bronze tier, and I'm a peewee.
Oh, stop it!
But actually, I'm not fucking terrible, but I'm not great either. Anyway, the thing is, I don't find that placing myself like competing has never been my forte, so I don't tend to do the PvP stuff. I might jump into a multiplayer game from time to time because they are fun. They are fun, don't get me wrong. But I don't focus on them. So I like games where I get to play against, like they say, that I get to play against the environment, gets to play against the mobs and defeat monsters, and games like Monster Hunter is a perfect it's a perfect example of it. The Ghost of Tsushima Legends that we were playing, it was perfect because it was just us against the enemy, and that was those games are the ones that I tend to gravitate more towards, not so much a PvP. The player versus player.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we should keep those. So those ones should stay though.
I agree, 100%. I only really have one more that came to mind, so I don't know if you have any more after this, but feel free to throw them in. And that, of course, is camping.
Oh, camping! Yes, I'm surprised we didn't bring that one the first time.
Me too. Actually, I'm looking at it and I was like, man, why didn't this come up? Camping, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically if anyone just stays in one area, as opposed to running around like most people do, and basically pick people off, usually with a sniper, or usually, maybe not always a sniper, but generally with a sniper. Someone who's just camping in one spot. Camping, obviously, meaning you've pulled up a tent and you're basically sitting in this one spot. First off, fuck all these campers. Okay, I'm just saying.
No, I still defend. Camping is a legitimate. If the game allows you to do it, it's a legitimate a strategy. It might not be ideal, but hey, especially when you're camping, is usually when you're playing player versus player, and if you're in a competition, like anything goes, right? Unless there are already rules approved, like by all parties. If it's just like, hey, is them or you? Fuck that. I'm gonna camp if I can. That's why games like this type of battleground games, battle royale games, they always have a closing circle of sorts to discourage camping, because would you imagine if there's no closing circle and everybody was forced to just run around in this huge map trying to find each other?
The fucking fight, the battles will take like 3-4 hours. It was actually a genius move by whoever the first battle royale game to force you to move on, to you can sit here for the moment, but you're not going to be here stationary unless you're at the very center of the circle, but you don't know what that is.
You don't know what that will be. Exactly.
And it makes perfect sense. Actually, I want to say that's kind of what made battle royale. I gotta say, to be honest with you, I'm not a Fortnite guy, and this because Fortnite it's its own thing, but I really did love PUBG. I really, really did love it for what
PUBG
it
was great. Yeah,
it's great.
It's great. It's still there. Yeah, it's still actually it's even more of a thing of or I don't know if that's still the case, but it used to be a lot of people used to believe that Fortnite was the bigger game, and no, it turns out PUBG was bigger, but on an international level, kind of like soccer.
Exactly. But when it came to traditional battle royale, I think that PUBG kind of edges out Fortnite. Yeah. Fortnite definitely has a more.
Fortnite just got silly. It just got with the construction and stuff like that. It was like,
well, the construction obviously came from the original Fortnite game, but it still became way more commercialized, easily. Way more.
It was definitely market. I mean, it was. He had Epic to market this shit. So yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, that's all I have, sir. Do you have any other ones to throw into the mix? I was looking through some, and I was like, well,
this one I'm sure that you probably haven't heard, but have you heard the term MC?
Yeah, of course.
All right, what's
mic check? Come on now, we all know what that means.
Nice try. It's also not Master of Ceremonies. Nope.
Master of Ceremonies. Okay, that's what it's called. Oh
no, that's not. It is main character, bro. The guy that you are playing on when you play Persona 5, you play MC. That's your character. I mean, they now they don't just say MC. They usually they establish a lore and they give him a name. But like most people never heard the name, and because you can actually name it whatever the fuck you want, when they're referred to in FAQs or walkthroughs or whatnot, and most people are not going to use the name that you gave your own character, so
yeah,
they're just gonna say, they're just gonna refer to him or her by MC, and that's and that's
main
the
character. Interesting. I've always just said main character, but I guess acronym makes sense. MC.
Acronym, and it's not widely used, but that's the reason we bring it here, so that people will know.
Well, you know what? They can do away with that one. I say we just say fucking main character. You say MC. Character. Hey, man, the MC of this game is like, oh shit.
Who's the DJ then?
We got a DJ going up in here. Okay. I don't know. Then we could do away with that one. We just say main character.
We're retiring MC. We're keeping main character. Okay. Yeah, it's like you're not really saving a lot of syllables when you're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe when you're writing. If you're writing an FAQ, I bet you'll feel very different.
Maybe. Well, if I'm the one writing the FAQ, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. If you're writing the walkthrough, then you'll definitely feel very different.
Or typing it out, whatever the case may be. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, and I guess I'll throw the last one because that's what I'm going to do right now, and that's Rage Quit.
Oh, Rage Quit. Rage Quit is a thing, my friend. There's actually like videos.
No, I can't talk. I'm not here. I rage quit it.
That's fine. I'm just gonna fill in.
You gotta carry it.
Yeah, at this point, and we'll take it to the end. Rage quit is definitely something I did many a times when I was a young lad, if you will. It's not something I haven't done like forever. I really haven't rage quit in a very, very long time. No, I have not. I'm very selective of my shit now. That's really what it comes down to. So,
you don't have time to be like hitting yourself against a wall.
Correct. Yeah, it's like the moment any hint of a game that would induce rage quitting, it's like nope, avoid at all costs. But yeah, it was a big thing back in the day because in the back of the days you didn't really have a lot of ways of getting reviews. I mean, let me tell you about fucking Batman Forever, and SNES. And
Forever, holy
shit! About fucking rage quitting right there, my friend.
Oh my god!
But I know that there's still videos of stuff. Or maybe not rage quit. I don't think people rage quit anymore. They just rage.
No, there are people. Yeah, no. Oh no, there you can look for rage quitting on YouTube. You talk about that. Yeah, you will definitely find some like people like throwing their keyboards against their monitor, or literally just grabbing their controller and chucking it against the TV. You're in a level of induced rage. You're throwing shit on the floor. You lose control. You literally lose control. I mean, not all rage quit. It's like that. Sometimes you could be like, "Oh, I'm doing poorly on this fight, so I'm just gonna disconnect." And I mean, that's on you for not only sucking, but also sucking at sucking, which is even worse.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're actually shit at sucking. Yeah. So it's like,
shit at sucking also.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
I agree. I've actually played back in the day. I was playing Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5. Yeah, play online or something like that. And you start off in the low ground. You know what I mean? So you're fighting off whatever, and some people halfway through the thing, it's like just one round and boom, they're gone. I'm like, come on, what the hell, dude? I was like, and then of course you start getting higher up into the things. Like, oh shit, I'm getting my ass handed to me. But I would always finish a fight. I was like, I would never not finish. Exactly. I was like, I'm not gonna not finish this fight, regardless of I'm getting my ass handed to me. It's like, hey, look, I'm here. It's happening. You're gonna get, all right, you're gonna win this, but you're gonna get something in return. It's not gonna be a perfect. Fuck that.
I have rage quitted games because I don't mean in a sense of I haven't destroyed anything. Well, that's not true.
That's not true.
The Devil May Cry 1 CD he got destroyed. But what I mean to say is that let's say if I'm doing poorly on a game, like I will stop playing, and I'll be angry. I mean, I could be very, very angry, but never to the sense of destruction. A and B is usually. I usually just come back later on because I'm like, I just need a time off. I just need time off. I'm not doing well right now. I just let me cool down, and I'll just attempt it later on. And then I go back and attempt it, and on the first try, I beat it.
Yeah,
like, that's what
almost,
I need.
dude, almost all the time, and that happens now. That happens now, dude. I mean, like fucking Hitman, and it's just like this freaking lady always turns around at the inopportune time. As I'm trying to take somebody, you know, it's like it's the most annoying thing. And of course, sure, you can continue, right? You can take people out, and I'm okay with that when it comes to Hitman. Like, do I want the by the way, this is just me patting myself in the back. I got 5 stars or 5 symbols or whatever it is on the last level of Hitman.
Yeah, you did, level, buddy.
Silent Assassin only took out the 2 targets, never got caught anywhere else. And I can't say the same for the earlier levels, but it is what it is. But after a while, it's like, well, I'm not getting much out of that. You know what I mean? But no, I agree, man. I agree. It's like I can definitely feel like, fuck, shit. You just
you did it the other day. Your wife told you, hey,
oh, dude,
I'm working.
Yeah.
You were still working.
That's all Dark Souls. Fucking
you let out a fucking fuck.
Yeah. While she's working, for the record, guys, my wife works at home. She's set up in the living room to take calls, and I'm just in the living room in my headset playing some Dark Souls. No, it wasn't even Dark Souls. Was it Dark Souls?
I don't think it was really Dark Souls. I think it was.
It was a little after that, and a loud fuck came out of my mouth, and she literally like hunched over, grabbed the mic, and then let it go and said, "Okay, whatever." Yeah,
I see she could stop the sound from going to the microphone.
She was stopping it with like a wave of sound. But yeah, that's a good one. Funny. Rage quit. I think it should stop, but I don't think it will.
No, I mean it describes perfectly. I think people should stop rage quitting, but then again, it's also like, no, we're fucking humans. You know, it's gonna happen. We're gonna have our moments of.
Yeah, I think it can exist outside of gaming. Rage quitting. You can rage quit anything.
You can rage quit my job.
Job. Yeah, exactly. It's like, fuck this shit. Yeah, I'm out.
Fuck this shit. I'm out. Yeah, exactly.
That's still a good one though. I love it.
Rage quit. No, fuck this shit. I'm out. Is most. That's a cool quit. You know that you keep your level. You're level headed. You're just saying like
as you're
shit,
as you're rage quitting. Yeah, exactly. As you're rage quitting, you still sound cool. Like yeah, I like that. All right, guys. Well, Ken, that brings us to the end of another awesome episode of the Mouthful Podcast. Of course, the real 277. I think
we're gonna go with that.
We're gonna go with that for now.
Change it
we'll update it later.
Edits will happen. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Let's say okay. So go ahead and say 78, 79.
Oh, so you have it okay? Recorded right. So yes, thank you for watching the real episode 278, 279, 280.
There you go. We're covering all 3.
GG's
I'll grab whichever needs to be. Yeah.
Yeah, at least the next 3 weeks. As always, guys, if this is your first time listening, please go goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there, and please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week, saying, guys, you guys play some Hitman. It's good shit, and I have all 3. I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to any of the other 2, but first one's
too much Hitman. Too much Hitman.
Oh my god, Mr. Dream Twister. That dog is me. Mr. Dream Twister, take us home.
You honor me, sir. I just want to give a quick shout out to our dear friends, Chaos, Dark, and of course Sparrow Wolf, for letting me play with them that day. Ghost of Tsushima.
Did you guys stream
an
this?
incredible amount of fun. Yes, actually, it is streamed. Yes,
I'm going right to Twitch now, and we are saving that shit. And
we're looking at that.
It's gonna be on the YouTube, guys. Don't worry. We'll get some highlights up on there.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. GG!